I'm just so glad it's skateboarding. It's been the one thing that came to me at the right time. It could have been anything I imagined, but skateboarding was what it was. So I love skateboarding to death. That's right when I found skateboarding. Like my friend showed me and I was like latched onto it because it was the only thing at that time that was really fun and like my escape. And I fell in love with it, you know? She's recording.
Took a minute just to get it.
Word. Okay. So today we have two guests at once. It's been a long time since I've done this. Since the menage a trois and the mic has gone down in here, dude. Couldn't have had two better fellas than you, though.
Oh, let's cheers.
Let's cheers it. Yeah, John?
Cheers. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
So we got Curtis down here in the green. Hey, pull the mic up. Pronounce your last name.
If you were in Poland, it'd be Grankovic, but it's Grankowitz because it's been Americanized, yeah.
Say it again in Polish.
Grankovic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That hits, right?
Shit hits, right? Never, like basically no fucking vowels, or like it's all vowels. I forget which one it is. It's all vowels, basically.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Are you your family from there originally? Like, your first family, your mom, dad, or?
It's a crazy fucking story, actually. I'm British. My dad's British, born and raised in England. I could go really deep into this if we wanted to. Right,
give us a little preview.
A preview of this? Okay, so apparently...
Oh, before we get going fully.
Yeah.
I only have one mic, so we're going to switch off between John and Curtis. But
so I'll tell my life story real quick.
Get in real quick. Well, because I kind of wanted to start this with how you got into skating, but a little preamble about your
preamble
family.
to the Grankowitz family.
Say it like it's supposed to be said.
Okay, preview to the Grankovic family.
Gangsta.
Yeah. Basically, the legend has it, right, that four brothers in Poland got in a bar fight.
All right.
And one of these brothers, like, really hurt someone in this bar fight.
Yeah.
And, like, to the point where he was going to go to jail. So instead, him and his brothers fled the country to America.
Gnarly.
Started a bakery, of all things.
Like muffins and shit?
Probably. Bread. This is like down the line. Like, this is like how the Grankowitz family like kind of like got to England or whatever. I mean, to America. And so my grandfather was American, Polish, and he was in the Air Force, the American Air Force, and then met my grandmother in England. And that's where that like British descent started. But basically what happened is these four brothers moved to America, started this bakery, got in like a heated debate over the business. And they just never talk to each other. So to this day, I have like Grankowitzes on like from across America. Like, I think we're related, like distant cousins.
And just bad blood over muffins.
Yeah, basically, or bread. I don't fucking know, but it's crazy because there's a lot of like Grankowitzes I don't know. And it's interesting for sure.
Word.
Yeah.
All right, pass the mic to John.
Pass the mic. What's your family story?
Well, dude, me and John, you can adjust it to pull it towards you. You want it, like, pretty close. Me and John, like, it's been a while, dude. We met, like, through my brother, I believe.
Through your brother.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
Sam's doing awesome, dude.
Cool.
He's in Australia. He's married. He, like, adopts kids and takes care of them and does, like, social work out there. He's always, like, fighting for a cause for the good of humanity. So he's crushing.
Always been on that wave.
Yeah.
He's always been on that wave.
And he's still skating, too, like, constantly. Full-time work and skating like crazy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Well, how'd you guys meet, you and Sam? Because I met you through Sam, I'm pretty positive. Because I remember he was just, like, raving about you and Spicely.
I don't know if I met him, like, it was when he lived in Fall River.
Probably.
Maybe at the skate park. Maybe, like, Lafayette Skate Park.
Ooh, yeah, Lafayette.
Or, like, Skater's Edge. I don't know.
Probably.
One of those two.
Yeah.
One of those two. And I think we just were skating together. And he's like, "Oh, my brother lives with me." And I was like, "Oh, sick."
Yeah.
Anthony? the guy from New York videos?
The Nick Cage movie?
The Nick Cage movie?
I was trying so hard to come up with The Rock or something. The guy from, what's the one? Leaving Arizona. No, what's the Arizona? Was it? Or Raising Arizona, dude. Yeah, dude, my brother loves you. You and Spicy, like, I remember he's just like, he was like your biggest advocate.
I had no clue.
Yeah, he wouldn't stop. He was like, "You got to meet these dudes. They're like so juiced on skating."
I'm still juiced on skating. It's been
Hell,
like,
yeah, I'll drink to that.
that was like
yeah, boys.
that was
2021.
2010
Yeah.
around then, right?
It's got to be, if not earlier.
2009.
I think Zoo York days or before Zoo York days. Yeah, dude. And John was in the original All I Need video.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Chase Barty, editing,
sir.
filming, dude. So fun.
Before All I Need was All I Need.
Yeah, that's how you guys helped build it
Yeah.
from the beginning, dude. You were
Yeah.
the first in the first video. And Spicely, you and Spicely shared a part, right? Or did you have separate parts?
I had my own separate part.
Oh, it was Jay and Sammy. Sammy and JV shared a part
right.
to the Beatles. That's
Mike
what it was.
Hathaway.
He's just having a baby.
Oh, wow.
He just he texted me the other day. He's having a girl. Yeah, I think it's a girl. Might have got that wrong, but he's having a baby either way. And he's still ripping, John.
Yeah?
Down in Florida.
Wow.
He links up like every time we go down for Surf Expo.
That dude used to rip.
Still, dude. And he's crazy because he has like a pot belly. He's like shaped like a panda bear, kind of like a pot belly, dude. But he's still mad tech, like switch trays, switch hard flips, like manny tricks and shit. It's insane, dude.
That grown man strength.
Yeah. All right, here. Typical Shetler show, All I Need podcast out. Pass it back to Curtis. Let's go into how you got into skating.
Basically my brother, he got like a shorties board.
Nice.
Fucking when I was like 7, so he was like 11. And he was into it, and then got a girlfriend and shit. Got into high school,
Yeah.
and then it was my board.
Some people aren't built for this life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. Well, he was my brother was a gnarly freestyle skier actually.
Whoa, sick.
Like he'd do like 270 on rail, 270 off.
I get it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like fucked up his knee doing that shit though.
But it takes a certain type of personality to be a skateboarder.
Yeah, for
Like-
sure, for sure.
Some people like get into it real quick and then they pass it on to their brother. you know?
Yeah, I think it's like, I've always like been quote unquote like an artist, even though like I hate that like title. And when people fucking, I don't know, like that you're more than an artist, right? Like there's other things you're interested in, you know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Your life is art.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So like even for skateboarding, that's what like appealed to me, and just like outcast shit.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
like that.
And just like grabbing onto it. And I'm from Framingham, so like I grew up going to Eastern Border.
Dope.
Yeah, and super nervous to go there, and like
Eastern Border?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Well, it was also because like I lived in fucking Framingham. For those of you who don't know, it's like the biggest, or was the biggest town in America, actually.
I knew that.
That was like our claim to fame, and it just became a city. So that's gone. You know what I mean? Now we're like it was like either the
Yeah,
population
too many people are fucking John.
or the size. Yeah, basically.
They fucked their way into a city.
Basically.
I wonder.
Well, it like should have been a city before it was. It was just like old money shit. But yeah, no, like, so I had to go down fucking Route 9, for those of you who know it, or
Yeah.
even know what Route 9 is. It turns into Huntington Ave in Boston. But I would have to like ride my bike to fucking Eastern Border on Route 9. I think
Gnarly.
maybe that's why it was scary. Like literally like fucking people just like driving like crazy, and I'm on the highway by myself as a
There's
kid.
the fucking barrier in the middle, and it's just like businesses. And
Yeah.
it's like doesn't seem like a sidewalk friendly place.
Yeah, no, not really.
It's snow and it's fucking
Yeah.
piling up and shit.
Not really. If you didn't have a bike or didn't have a mode of transportation, it was kind of like, fuck.
Did you get your first board from Eastern Border?
So actually, my brother did. So the shorties. But for me, and real ones will remember Ski Market in Framingham.
All
All
right.
right. So Ski Market had like a little skate program. And Ski Market was closer.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to go as far down fucking Route 9. And when I saved up enough money, because my parents were like, "Oh, your brother didn't fucking like it. Like he gave up on it. You're gonna give up on it too. We're not gonna buy you a board."
Haters.
Yeah, they love it now. It's crazy. They think it's fucking funny as fuck that like I'm like just selling out of skateboards and shit. They're just like, damn, I would have never known that it would turn into this, you know?
That's cool.
But yeah, I walked my ass to fucking Ski Market, and my first board I bought myself, I remember this, it was in like a warped pile. 'Cause again, it was a fucking Ski Market. Like, they didn't really hire skaters.
It's like, weird they had a warp pile, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, which was fire. So for me going in there, like, with like my $50 that I've been saving up, you know what I mean? From like whatever, grandma birthday money, I don't know. So like I think I was like 12 years old, and I walked to Ski Market and I bought this warped Jason Dill Alien Workshop board.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a perfect first board.
It worked out. I only liked it because the graphic was weird. It had like my minimal like color.
Wait, it was an Alien?
Yeah.
You guys remember when Dill skate for 23?
Yeah.
Sal and Dill is sick as shit.
Yeah.
Side note.
Side note.
Do you remember trucks, wheels, any of the setup?
Nah. So again, I didn't have enough money. I just transferred over the shitty ass like Venture trucks, and they were Spitfire wheels that my brother had on his shorties board. And I remember the Spitfire wheels because they were like tie-dyed, like yellow and red.
I think I remember those ones.
Yeah.
There's like certain wheels you just never forget.
I was like, I don't want new wheels. Like, I fucking yellow and red ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up in Framingham and going to like Skaters Paradise and shit, seeing like America like tour there, which blew my fucking mind.
They went to there? I didn't know.
Yeah. It was fucking awesome. Like, I was blown away. And then there was like talks of having a Framingham skate park, which finally happened. I know you were like a part of that in some way, right?
Was it Ken Russell?
Yeah.
He hit me up and was like, yo, we're trying to build a park in Framingham, and I just need like someone with a name in the area to like come and like give some feedback.
Right.
And I'm like looking at the park designs and shit, and I don't know anything about designing a park.
Right.
But, you know, I just added like a little input. I was like, maybe this, you know,
Yeah.
like nothing big. But I just went there that day and was like the face, you know, like the pro that was there basically.
Yeah, my boy who rides for Oyster, James McCarthy, shout out James. Yeah.
Pro.
He was at the opening. He like cut the fucking ribbon, I think.
Yeah.
At Framingham Skate Park. But it finally happened. I remember going to like these.
There was some beef with the whole thing at the
Oh
skate
my
park.
god, dude, we raised money and
Was
shit.
it James that was involved in that? Because there was some craziness with the rec department was weirded me out. The people I like had to deal with, and then like some lady showed up and was like, "This kid deserves the credit for wanting to get this park here," and they don't want to give him the credit. It was like an older lady.
Huh.
Yeah, she like called me like days before and was like gave me the inside scoop. I was probably like a little too high to really get what she was saying, but
wait,
like,
what?
it might not have been James, but someone was like, "Yeah, this kid did the work to like get the hype to get this going, and now the Rex department's just stealing the whole thing."
We got puppy alert.
I'm so sorry.
Puppy coming in.
Put her in the other room, please. All right, it's fine. Emma's a sweetie. Come
What's
here,
up, Emma. How you doing, girl?
Yo,
Should I
Emma.
pick her up and show her the crib?
No, Emma, come here. Emma, come here, sweetie. Look at the cone of shame, Emma. What happened, dude? We were just downstairs and you didn't have this on.
People need to see this.
Oh, my lady interrupts the show all the time, so this is like... Dude, John, get a look at the cone head, bro. What, Emma?
At least it's see-through.
Yeah, Emma, you lay down.
Yeah, for real. I kind of feel bad when they can't have no peripheral.
Emma, come
That's
here.
crude.
Come here, Emma. I'll take the cone off your head, bro. Come here.
Oh, you said because the dog was licking her wound?
She just has, like, dry skin because the weather's changing, so
Yeah.
she's just, like, obsessive.
Classic New England.
Yeah, so, like, she's just been itching herself, and then Elwood, my lady was saying Elwood's just, like, all up on her ass, you know? Here,
What was I saying? Dude?
we were talking about,
Skate park beef.
the Framingham.
Well, that's classic because like we were supposed to have that park like when I was in high school and shit.
Yeah.
And then I just remember being like, this is never gonna fucking happen.
Well, with the people that I met that were like, there was serious inside beef with the
Yeah.
Rex department, the city of Framingham City,
Yeah.
and some like, there was like some internal workings that was weird the day of the event. So I was like watching it all.
Yeah.
No one else saw it, but like since I knew the gossip, because the lady called me like a day before, like with the beef, and I'm like, oh,
James
dude.
probably knows about this gossip. He will have more insight on this, so maybe you should have him on the podcast.
I probably should,
for
because I
sure.
think I met James that day, and his parents were there maybe, and they like introduced me. I might be
Possible.
confused, but
Possible.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I started skating, and yeah, I love my brother for like introducing it to me, basically.
What a ledge.
Yeah, for real, for real.
All right, let's throw this to John now.
Slide it over.
Take us. Oh, get that thing. Jam that thing a little lower. Let the people see it, bro. Nice. Start at the beginning. Do you remember your first board? What the setup was? How'd you get it? Where were we at? How old were we?
First board was probably First board was probably 10 years old.
Yes.
Right. I used to play baseball growing up.
Nice. What position?
Pitcher, shortstop, and then I even played in high school. Still, I played center
Really?
field.
Wow.
But when I was
never guessed that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't start skating till like going into senior year of high school, like 16, 17.
Wow. That's kind of old.
Late
like,
bloomer.
Yeah, sort of.
Got put on by some good dudes though, so I got good fast.
Good looks. Yeah, you did. I watched some progression, bro.
First board was like this like old fish shaped board with like rail on the nose that I got from a banquet at the end of like the baseball trophy ceremony thing.
I see.
Like the spaghetti and shit.
So like yeah, it was at like a night. It was always at like a nice banquet hall or whatever, and most valuable player this year. You get your trophy and you get to pick out of, these gifts that were
They gave
available.
you away, dude. They
And
basically gave you away to skateboarding.
One of them, one of those prizes was a skateboard, and I fucking rocked that shit. And dude, for years I lived on a hill, and we would just like ride that down a hill,
Yeah.
like on some street luge
Yeah.
type beat. Like I even like, bro, I nailed like wood on the front of it, and then with a cross beam, so I had like a foot thing, 'cause we were,
Yeah.
like,
You had like almost a soapbox at that point.
type
dude.
beat. All right, so fast forward, going into high school. I'm in high school. My best friend at the time, Sean Conroy.
Shout out.
Shouts out Sean Conroy.
Hell yeah, Sean. Been a minute.
Love you, miss you. Don't know where you are. He started skating, and I thought it was cool as hell. And Christmas, I went to. My mom took me to Mr. Rags.
Mr. Rags.
So Mr. Rags, if you don't know, was like the original Zoomies.
All right.
It was like a Hot Topic type of store, but they sold skateboard. It was like an alternative store. There was one in the Taunton Mall
Well, shit.
back in the day.
I don't think I
Mr.
ever
Rags.
saw that one. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now, and their graphic is very in the now. Yeah, it was like on some 90s,
Yeah.
baggy pant, like Jinko jeans and
Oh yeah.
type of. So I got a Willie Santos birdhouse board.
Well, that's sick.
Was my first board.
Filipino. Shout out.
Blue Phantom trucks.
Yes. I used to ride for Phantom. Dude, I had so many Phantom trucks.
And I think Ricta wheels, because when I first started skating, I started skating at like Skaters Island.
Yeah.
And
Middletown, Rhode Island.
in Middletown, yeah, Fall River had their little shitty skate park at the time. But yeah, I went to Skater Island, dude, and I was watching you.
Oh shit.
I was watching Eli Reed when everyone had the baggy.
Dude, Akil,
Akil, all those dudes, bro.
Heavy Squad.
Like Donnie, and I think Donnie was riding Ricta wheels, so I bought Ricta
that makes
wheels.
sense.
Yeah.
Donnie's a huge influence on everyone.
Huge.
You see him and you're like, I want to be like Donnie,
Huge.
you know?
So,
That's sick.
Yeah. Willie Santos birdhouse.
That's a wild one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but that's a solid.
I didn't know. I didn't really know anything yet, and the graphic was fucking cool, and
Yeah.
that's what I bought.
That's how I ended up with a Willie board too. It was 3 frogs stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
And it was, I believe it was a Willie Santos board, and I just liked it because the same thing. It was just like cool looking. Didn't know who Willie was. Learned later that he could land every trick in the world.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
But that's like a big thing, dude. Is like, dude, board design. Like, you gotta, you want to cater to, the true heads and stuff. But you also have to, like, if you're designing a board, you have to like step outside and think like, what if I was a kid at a store buying my first board? Like,
Yeah.
you want something that's gonna like speak out at you. Like, what are you gonna look at the wall for? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like that's a big.
You gotta like summons your inner like 12-year-old skate rat
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like kind of look at the wall and be like, what would I think is cool? Like
You
a
know?
finger with a booger on it.
Just so happens this kid got a freaking Jason Dill. That's awesome. You
Yeah,
know?
that worked out.
I had no idea who he was.
That's wild.
Straight up only got it because like it was minimal, dark brown, light brown, and like an alien, but
Yep.
like not like the classic Alien Workshop alien, like this weird like creature alien. And I was just like, that looks fire.
Yeah.
As a kid.
I get that. I loved Alien growing
And,
up.
Yeah, and it was cool, like working at a skate shop. I'm not gonna lie, working at Orchard there for a bit, and like
Wait. Do tell. How do you start working at Orchard? How'd that all work out?
I graduated grad school,
You're free, Emma.
and I was, and that was honestly, oh, is that cool that just like screensaver came?
Let me
up?
check real quick.
Yeah,
I think it's fine.
make sure it didn't stop recording.
Yeah. It might have, though. The raw, real, uncensored.
Still live.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
All right, peace.
Look at Emma's in the shot with John. I fucking love this podcast already. This is started off so good.
Amazing.
Yeah, give us a little insight into like how you started working at Orchard and found out all about that world.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy experience, honestly, to kind of learn how that world functions, and honestly, vicariously working with you to get boards made and stuff, like the people behind the scenes of like, literally like getting skateboards to kids.
Yeah, man.
Or whoever, really. But that was honestly the best part of the job, is like reliving and seeing this, kid or kid with their parent or kid by themselves pick out their first board.
It's cliche and corny, but it's like unbelievable.
Oh,
And
it's a beautiful thing to watch.
to think like John, like get back in that 12-year-old skate rat.
Yeah.
I'm constantly reminded of that from skateboard lessons.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
I'm-
I still do them, is because it keeps me connected to that 12-year-old skate rat.
Yeah.
Like in that skate shop position, my friends that work at it, like Nick Barth and like Billy and them,
Mhm.
they said the same thing. Like working there, seeing the kids, the hype, and like being connected to
Yeah.
that.
And like for me, that was like honestly such a like humbling experience as well. It's like, holy crap, like I'm so lucky that I'm like in my 30s now and still skating and still a part of this thing that I like loved and fell in love with when I was only, 11, even
Yeah.
younger.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was cool, and that was like literally me graduating grad school. I was an art teacher for a high school
Shit.
for 4 years. And that was cool, and that's kind of like why like that was probably my favorite part of that job. It was like, oh yeah, like I'm kind of like teaching them, but about skateboarding instead of art.
And it's immersed in art because all the decks, and all
Exactly,
the products,
exactly.
you're just surrounded by.
And
art.
it's cool too, because like even with contemporary like decks, this was like in a period of time where like literally every graphic kind of like looked the same on the wall. Like I'm not gonna lie, and like they were like made for like fucking high school skateboarders or something who are like, yeah, like the world sucks or something, like look at this board with the upside down cross or globe on fire or like a happy earth that says fuck you or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. And like you'd get that one kid who's like, I don't really like any of these, and you're like, well, you don't have to get one of these, here's other places you can find other graphics,
Yeah.
and even that was like funny to experience, because to John's point, you know what I mean, with graphics and design, it is interesting, and I love the weird shit. I love the different shit. But yeah, it has to be accessible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I worked at Orchard for like 2 years.
I was hyped we did that. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
John mentioned the holographic ones.
Yeah.
I was stoked because I hadn't really messed with that yet.
Yeah,
And-
I asked. I was like, "Can we get this done?" And he's like, "Let me ask Anthony."
Yeah.
It's a go. I'm like, "Let's run it."
Yeah.
'cause-
And that was a weird situation because the people that supplied the foil actually sent the wrong ones at first. And we kind of got a 2-for-1 though.
It was honestly a happy accident.
It was. It worked
Yeah.
out perfect.
Like it turned the same graphic into like 2 graphics.
Separate things, yeah.
Which was honestly awesome.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
went, which is dope.
Well, we had
Yeah.
we had backup plans. We were like, fuck, if this doesn't work, like how can we get like something different, So yeah.
Well, so how did you get a job? Did you like send a resume?
Nah, I mean, I knew Armin. Like, shout out Armin.
Hell yeah.
But I should've-
Armin fucking rips.
Yeah,
bro
he still
too,
got
but
it.
yeah, they
he's,
both
He
are.
still got it. Yeah, I saw him do like a fucking Rick flip. It was beast.
Fakey, like big heel.
Yeah.
Such a hard trick.
Yeah, he did it on like a hip. It was beast. Good job.
And I've seen him do, dude. I've seen him do a lot of like.
Yeah,
Like,
no comply.
he'll whip a crazy one out.
Backside something or other.
Every session I've ever been around, he'll whip like one out. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
So shout out Armin, and yeah, I just kind of like hit him up. Mutual friend of mine, Sageman. Shout out Sageman.
Choo.
Yep.
My dude.
He left Orchard, and I kind of just finished grad school, just moved back to Boston, and I was like, yo, I'm good with people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a teacher. I love kids. I love, just skateboarding. And
What grade were you teaching in
I was teaching high school, and I was
art?
Yeah, art. Like, basically, I was doing like a bunch of stuff. I was basically doing like drawing, painting, ceramics, sculpture.
So we talking freshman, sophomore?
All of them.
Oh, where?
Yeah, they were like mixed. It was like the one opportunity these like kids can mix, Not,
Yeah.
Not have everyone be in 10th grade fucking math
Yeah,
and only be with the 10th graders.
that makes sense because it's art. It's kind of subjective, all ages,
Right.
whatevs.
And that's honestly a good thing. It should happen more often. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't understand why like people have to like stay with like the same clique.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks, right? You know?
Yeah.
So anyway,
I
that's
was
a
a-
whole other can of worms.
I was a loner in high school.
Yeah, me too.
sat
And
by
that
myself.
was like the funny part about being a teacher and shit and like skateboarding getting cool. It was just like fucking crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
kids wearing Vans and shit, and like I was like I got made fun of for being poor for wearing Vans, but you know what I mean? When
Yeah.
I was in high school, by like the jocks or like playing sports or whatever, show up to baseball practice wearing Vans, like what the fuck,
Yeah.
you know?
I felt some heat when I was younger.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
thought you were scummy because your shoes are ripped, your pants are ripped,
Right.
you're dirty, you're sweaty. They're just
Right.
like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
this? You know?
and I would just like go to the art room in high school, and that's kind of why I became an art teacher, because my art teacher was beast.
That's
and like
dope.
put me on the right path. Like I probably wouldn't have gone to college for art, let alone get licensed to teach and stuff.
Yeah.
So shout out Dr. Callahan.
Shout out.
Yeah, he's a beast. Seriously. So yeah, I worked at Orchard for a couple years. Pandemic hit. Shit got fucking, crazy. Obviously.
Yeah. Weird as shit.
Weird as shit. And yeah, they finally have another brick and mortar. I'm no longer working there.
Oh, that's right. They shut their store down.
Yeah,
They
so
were doing online store. For a
yeah,
minute,
so we like moved to a warehouse and stuff and packing boxes, yada yada. But yeah, shout out Zach. He just fucked up his ankle.
part of the game, bro.
Yeah. No pain, no gain. But
Emma had a cone on in the beginning of this. So
yeah, look at her now.
yeah, she's liberated.
Look at
She
her.
likes John too.
Dude.
Um,
This dude like knows
he's got
animals very well.
I could tell.
John is like a whisperer for sure.
Here,
Here,
switch the mic real quick.
we'll pass it on.
All right, so John, I got two questions. I got a lot more, but the two that comes to mind. One is
Sniffly.
how you met Spicely. Maybe tell people who Spicely is and how you met him and what your relationship is. And then I want to talk about venturing to New York a bit.
Okay. So Eric Spicely. Shouts out Eric Spicely.
Savage.
High school. Being in the lunchroom and
Fall River?
in Fall River Durfee High School, being in lunch, and I had my skateboard and I had Kenny Anderson audios for a
Dope.
skate shoe, brown leather,
Dude, I think I remember those.
brown
John.
leather gum bottom.
Yes, I love the gum soles.
Got them from CCS.
Fresh. You were looking good then.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Kid was looking sharp.
So he's like, dude, you skate? I skate too. I'm from the South End, and I'm from the east side of Fall River, and I never, me and this kid Sean, we kind of stayed on the east side over where like Lafayette is, and we never went to the South End.
Yeah.
We went to the South End one day after school with Eric and met, him and his homies, and this kid was, I was like struggling to ollie a six there, and he was like hard flipping it second try.
Which is, you said you were a little older, right? How old was Spicely then? He had to be.
Same age as me.
Same age? All right.
But just
He's
like-
just huge.
But he had been skating since he was like younger,
Yeah.
so he was already so advanced. But Yeah, we became homies, dude. And dude, like barely kick flipping, and he was just doing these wet tray flips with like the spread leg, like before that was cool, you know?
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh my god. But I just progressed with him.
Yeah, he's like a crazy one to progress with because he's so big. So his pop is like, I remember his pop was ridiculous, and that's kind of how it was for me in Westgate. I like skate with Westgate a bunch, but he was shorter than me, and his pop was beast.
Yeah,
I couldn't
you're
keep
like,
up.
what?
Could imagine with him like keeping up with Spicely. His pop was unbelievable too.
But yeah, we had a couple cool older dudes that put us on. This dude Randy Cabral,
Shout out, I know Randy. Ranzig.
Ranzig,
Dude, I haven't thought about Ranzig in a
Ranzig,
long
dude.
time.
I love him. I miss him. But
I got a good story. He puked in my house.
He was
one time.
he was like a solstice guy,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he took us under the wing, and here we are hanging out with Jay Vasconcelos and all these guys, and
That's sick. From
wanting to be like shop flow for solstice, But we go on sessions, and just got to step up to the plate and try and skate with the guys. So we all progressed fairly fast, I believe.
It's crazy that Spicely fucking is in the UFC.
And then dude, so
what the fuck?
we go to Providence to go skate, right? We go filming, and then we go to the mall. Like, let's go to the mall, and we go to Newbury Comics, and we try and steal Joy Division T-shirts and freaking Misfits T-shirts, and he's over there trying to steal UFC DVDs. I'm like,
shit.
dude, what? Why you what?
That's wild.
What is that? He's like, oh, I like this. It's like wrestling, but way hardcore. It's like real.
Yeah.
And dude, years later, here he is,
It's so wild.
UFC. He put his mind to it and did that shit.
Yeah. I feel like he could have been a pro skateboarder too, just from his work
Oh,
ethic.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. If he didn't go off in that direction.
Yeah,
either,
he just he fell in love with it.
That's so wild.
He fell in love with it and just loved skating too, but I think he just was I want to try this. I don't know.
I
don't know.
I love Fall River. How do you feel about Fall River? You grew up there, right?
Yeah, I'm from there, dude.
Yeah.
I have it tattooed on me.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is it showable or do you have to get the nips out?
Nah, it's oh, right here.
Oh shit! Just actual Fall River. That's sick.
I got 508 on my stomach too, gangster
What?
style.
Hell yeah, like Tupac.
Tupac style.
Yeah.
It's 508.
That's dope. Yeah, Tupac's right behind you. Don't sleep, bro.
I hate Fall River so much.
I get it.
I hate it so much, dude. My family still lives there. I love it unconditionally, obviously, but the lack of progression and the comfortability and there's just it's like a forgotten city. There's a lot of them in this country, dude, and
Yeah.
they'd rather lock a kid up for spraying his name all over the city rather than busting the local heroin dealer who's killing
Who knows?
kids once a week. Or
Yeah, who knows
the
how
death
many-
rate there is freaking insane. It's insane, dude, and it's really sad,
True.
But I mean, I love where I'm from. I would never change anything, but I just feel bad.
Yeah,
I feel bad, dude.
It's wild. You can go to some parts of Fall River. I haven't been in a year or two. At least street skating in Fall River. I should go again.
There's spots though.
There is, dude.
There's
there is.
freaking spots, dude.
That's the thing. You skating there.
But yeah, the north end. My grandmother lives in the north end, and she's got a nice little house with a backyard, woods. But that's just a tiny fraction of that city. Most of the city is just run down.
Dude,
Run down.
It's fully true.
It's like Little Detroit.
yeah,
Or,
yeah.
I don't even know.
And
bad.
I one time saw in Fall River a horse by the water. Someone had a horse. It looked like the city, but they had a horse in their yard, dude. I swear to God, dude.
What?
Yeah, just they shouldn't have had a horse, but they had a horse in their backyard. I was like,
They were probably testing out their ivermectin.
Yeah, it was some fucking ghetto shit. That's a sin word now. You can't say that shit.
He watches Joe Rogan once.
I thought I was on Rogan.
You're on the
All I Need show.
Yeah, the Shrogan, Shetler Rogan.
Oh man.
I'm not bald enough to be him yet.
Or like you still have a neck.
Yeah, that's true. Well played. I'm stoked on my neck. Okay, go back to Curtis, and we'll come back for New York City, because you did venture to New York, and
Alright.
you're talking about going back too. So,
He is going back to New York City.
going back to New York.
Not Cali.
It's okay. Okay. Take us into
How we met?
That's a good idea. We'll go there. Yeah,
Oh
John.
man. Okay, so
John should have a podcast. Dude.
talk. Yeah, for real,
Kid's
dude.
got fucking some ideas. That's
Yeah,
all right.
this
You can
is his
take
second.
my mic with you. I have that Rode mic. Take it with you. Plug it in your thing. Record anywhere you want on the road. That
Do-
one I showed you. The one I
do it.
started with.
Do it.
I'll give it to you. I'll bless you with it, son.
Yeah. No,
Even
this
if
is
you
my
don't-
first podcast. This is his second podcast.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, I did like
Pass the mic.
I did a podcast like 2 months ago with the old mayor of Fall River. His name's Will Flanagan.
Really?
Will Flanagan Show.
He was the old mayor?
He's actually
Like he used to be mayor of Fall
he used to be
River?
mayor of Fall River. Yeah.
Wild. And he
Yeah.
has a podcast, and you ended up on it?
Yeah. Me and my brother.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What was that about? Being skater?
Me and my brother have a brand called JLCS.
Yes.
Plugging that.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, this guy likes fashion and stuff like that. So he brought us on the show.
Yo, I think I saw something, a photo where you guys were like in the newspaper. Maybe were you in the newspaper?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've been in
seen
the
it.
newspaper a couple times the past few months.
What? That's wild. Yeah, that's crazy. The mayor. Who would have thought you'd be talking to the mayor?
Yeah.
Did you tell him about his
Story
issues?
story for maybe later down the line or later in the show. But this mayor actually locked me up around 2010 for writing graffiti
That's hilarious. Fucking
and like
hell.
tried to make an example out of me.
Did he know that he did
Oh,
that?
he fully knew.
And when he asked you on the show, did he put
This is
the
the first
dots?
time I've seen him since that happened.
Wow.
And I'm a grown ass man now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you are.
and I've accomplished some things that he's seen. So I mean, he's like, he wasn't the mayor to me anymore. He was like a peer, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like I've actually probably accomplished more than you did.
Did he
To be
apologize?
honest with you.
Did he apologize?
No, I never brought that up to discussion, but I did
Yeah.
hint, you know,
A little
what
jab.
had happened and laughed about it, you know.
That's
But there's
awesome.
no bad blood. He was just doing his job, and I get it.
Yeah.
know?
We can't have motherfuckers doing it everywhere.
So
Tagging up
this is my
everywhere.
second podcast, not my first rodeo, but it's fun.
First one on the All I Need pod, so that's record breaking.
Boom.
Chew. John helped build fucking All I Need, which is a cheers to that too, dude.
Wow, dude. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hey, get in there.
Yeah,
Chris.
full circle, dude. For
I
real.
always tell people that because like that video is hard to put online because of all the songs, you know, like.
that what? Yeah.
Yeah, I hit up Chase one time. I was like, "Yo, can we just like get the raw without the songs?" But I think I got to reach out again. I might have had the wrong number or something. But but like, yeah. But that one was like, so people know about it, but only people that had DVDs or like was at the premiere or like,
Yeah.
and then so that's the like the core foundation of the brand is that video.
Yeah.
The people that like love it are the ones who were there from the beginning. You know, like. Crazy. Cheers.
Wow, beast. Full circle.
Where
Yeah.
where are we at?
I don't know.
You're the director of the podcast
oh,
now.
fuck.
Curtis is in charge.
I've never done this before.
First podcast, but he teaches fucking kindergarten. No, high school art.
I have taught kindergartners art before at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston.
How did you and John meet?
Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking
link
about.
up.
Yo, so this is another...
2011.
Yeah, around...
Kind of that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, right around 2011, John, like, dipped Fall River, was like, fuck the mayor.
City,
Yeah.
like,
He's
wanted to like be in New York, dude. Like,
Yeah.
he's saying, fuck this city. I,
Can you hear me this far?
I don't think
You
so.
can hear it. It's
you
just,
can?
It's a little
Alright.
quiet, but people can hear you.
Yeah,
I moved.
he moved. And he was...
We'll get to that next.
Yeah, and he was in Boston, basically, and just so fucking happened to be crashing at our boy, Sean Redmond. Shout out Sean Redmond.
Hell yeah.
full dad right now, also doing kind of like the boxing, like UFC route.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's a beast. I've always said you're the last person I'd want to fight, so I'm glad you're like my best friend. Yeah, he just messaged me today. Yeah, so he was like a petty cabber. We were working at fucking Tasty Burger together. John was like, just happened to be there, and of all people, dude, I can't remember his last name right now. Jordan what? Fuck, bro.
From Fall River or Boston?
Fall River. Yeah, had the gauges and shit.
I fully, yeah.
I don't know his last name, yo.
Shout out to George.
Yeah.
Jordan with the gauges.
Yeah, Jordan with the gauges. I don't remember your last name.
Simple Merchant Coffee. He's got a location in Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, there it is.
Yes,
Legend.
yes. Sorry, we don't know your last name, bro. I feel terrible
I couldn't even
right
pronounce your last name.
now. Yeah, exactly.
I still can't. Still
exactly.
can't.
No one can.
Sorry.
Yo, when I was teaching, my students call me Mr. G.
Jew. I noticed your tagline on email is Courage G.
Yeah, you like that?
I do.
Yeah, I just don't want to put people through. Like, how the fuck you say that? And yo, it's so funny, like how many people just butcher that name. It's crazy. Like,
I get SHETLER all the time because of autocorrect.
Oh,
I send my
true.
name to people and it corrects it to the
True.
wrong thing.
yeah, it's mad funny. Like, you know when you have to like call your bank or whatever, or like, and they're like, yeah, like what's your name, just to verify it's like you're who you are.
Yeah.
And they always just call me Mr. Curtis. It's mad funny.
That's funny. They do.
They just skip it. They're like, what's your last name? Say it. They're like, okay, Mr. Curtis. Anyway,
Nice.
so yeah, Mr. G for the students. But yeah, Jordan, who I knew from fucking New Bedford and UMass Dartmouth because I had like a little brief stint there. I originally went to art school in Philadelphia, and then just to like take the story off the rails a little bit.
Get it.
That city is fucking awesome. Philly's great. That made me fall in love with like skateboarding again, like a second like wind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
was
can
like,
see that.
I'm like an artist, but like really, I was just like smoking pot and like painting, like not trying to figure the world out. You're 18, like,
Yeah,
whatever. So I liked Philly and reminded me of Boston. You know. Anyway, I got hit by a fucking stolen taxi cab, not skating, just trying to make my 8 a.m. class, bro.
Brutal.
First month. I got rocked. Like, my shit got fucked up. Like, my knee, my shoulder, whatever.
Wait, like did they fuck up or did you fuck up?
It was a stolen taxi cab, and they ran a red light. I was just so if anyone knows University of the Arts in Philadelphia, it's right down the street from City Hall where, like, Eastern Exposure is filmed.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just, like, hyped to go there. I was like, I love that video. Like,
Who doesn't?
yeah,
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah, I know. Kids
Yeah.
don't know that one.
Yeah, well, if you don't, kids who are listening to this, watch
back.
fucking Eastern Exposure 3. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Jamal Williams, if you're from Boston as well, just fucking watch that part. Skates to Johannesburg. I've been singing it all day because you brought Jamal Williams up randomly today.
When I rode for Phantom, I went on a tour with Jamal in Boston. It was
That's
sick.
awesome. Man, legend.
Yeah. Coolest dude ever.
Well, yeah, he was always like my favorite. Yeah, for real. He was always like my favorite skater growing up, just the Boston thing. And then I found out, like, when I moved to Boston and, like, basically just met John and I was going to art school, that he was an artist and he went to art school in Boston. And then I randomly looked him up. I'm like, I wonder what his artwork looks like. And it was like, dude, same aesthetic that I had at that time in terms of like I consider myself like at that time a collage artist.
I was checking out some of your Instagram. I seen some of the stuff then.
Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, he's got like a very similar aesthetic to me, which made me love him even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the fact that he's like the nicest human alive.
Yeah,
really
and just
helps.
so talented, dude. I was
Yeah.
hyped to see that piece. He like did that mural in Brooklyn. I don't know if you saw it. It was really cool.
That's
and
sick.
Yeah, really cool. But anyway, so Sean Redmond basically was like the middleman between us. Yeah. And fucking, it was kind of tight because like I was going to art school. John obviously is an artist himself. And he was coming from this, you know, this kind of like traumatic experience as a graffiti artist and like getting bought for it.
Yeah.
And like being like, fuck, like, am I about to leave Massachusetts because I really don't know how to, you know, deal with this.
Or don't want to deal with the severity of...
Yeah, go ahead. Switch it up. Because we kind of, this leads us into New York a little.
Yeah, this does lead us, segues us into So
You didn't want to deal with. You were saying.
yeah, I guess I ran away from my problems.
You confession? Confessional?
Um,
It's all right, dude. You're forgiven.
but
man.
like, fuck that, dude. Like,
I get it. I get it.
like the DA was trying to give me like 2 years, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what? You
That's
know?
heavy.
So
That's
I was like,
heavy.
fuck that, dude. Like, I was filming Get Buck in Boston, staying with my boy, and like we just seen each other like smoking weed. Like we were smoking a joint or something like outside, right? And you were like,
Dude, literally what happened, that basically happened a lot, but but basically fucking Jordan just texted me because he saw fucking my name on the mailbox, right, of the fucking building to visit Redmond.
right.
And he was like, yo, your name's on the mailbox of this apartment I'm in. Do you live here? And I was like, yeah, bro, what the fuck is good? He was like, come up one floor. I was like, okay.
That's wild.
And I just stumbled in and like literally just like hit it off with these fools. Redmond kind of like was like, he had like crazy pink hair. And I was kind of like, what the fuck is this dude's deal? He's a madman at the time. But yo, like at that time when Redmond had like the mohawk, he had like the weird mohawk. No offense, Redmond, but it wasn't that great of a look. I was like, what's your... Okay, he was ahead of his time. Ahead of his time. Yeah, ahead of his time, and he just didn't give a flying fuck.
Hell yeah.
He does now. He's a dad. He's killing it. He's such a good dad.
Mohawk's gone.
Yeah. He's all cleaned up and shit.
Yo, pay attention to Emma.
Yo, Emma, I love you.
She's like, oh, you dropped some food on your shirt earlier.
That's very true. Definitely do that.
Emma,
on a
you're a
daily basis.
legend, bro.
Yo.
Come here, pretty princess. You gotta let Curtis talk. Come here, baby.
So yeah, fucking, that's how we met. Literally, I'm cool with you hanging out here, girl. That's fine.
She's a lover, dude.
So yeah, that's how we met.
First, before you go, hang on to the hair for as long as possible.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
jealous.
yeah,
I'm super jealous.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I have fun with it nowadays.
I'm super jealous.
So I was filming Get Buck with Dan,
Yeah.
and he was full-time undergrad. You weren't even skating that much.
No,
Dan,
bro, I was
you
so
know?
busy. I was double major.
Double major.
Double major, trying to become a teacher and shit, trying to change my life.
Yeah. Gotta put some work in there.
So yeah, I mean, me and him hit it off so well. I was in Boston for like a year or so, and I was like, what the fuck am I waiting for? Go to New York.
Yeah, but let's get back to how you were saying about you were running from your problems. Do you really feel like that, or do you still? How do you really feel?
No,
about
well,
it now?
I always had an ulterior motive, dude. I was like, all right, like these dudes want to try and smoke me for me writing on a wall and not lock this dude up for like burglary, selling heroin. Like, fuck that. Like, fuck you. I'm running. Like, I'm living my life, and I'll
2 years is too fucking long, dude.
And
especially
like
then.
in hindsight, it's really not. You know, I probably would have done like a year and like got out on some good behavior or something or whatever, because you kind of only do like half sometimes or whatever. But at the same time, I was like, you know, like whatever, dude. Like I'm like a pretty passionate person, and moving forward, I was like, I'll deal with this later when I'm successful in whatever I'm doing. And last November I got arrested.
Oh shit!
I got caught, and I was like on 95 going home.
Oh shit!
And my boy got pulled over, and all right, here it goes. 10 years later, I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's like under the rug now.
Statute of
But
limitations.
no, dude, like they put me in Dartmouth for like
what?
a week and a half in November. I got out like 2 days before Thanksgiving. I don't really tell people this because like it's not their business, but
they just like had a warrant, huh? They're like, you got a
yeah,
warrant.
like outstanding 10-year warrant, and I was just like, all right, let's go, you know.
Fuck.
But like, so 10 years later, I know the law. I know how the law works. I know I need to get a lawyer and not get a court-appointed lawyer.
Yeah.
I have stuff. I've done stuff. I've worked with companies, with this skill set I've required and got in trouble for it. So
Yeah.
I got a bunch of letters of recommendation.
So you don't feel so guilty now.
No. I stepped up in court like, yeah, I did that. What's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look what I'm doing now. I'm contributing to society way more than a lot of you clowns in here. You know,
fair
like
enough.
you hate your job. Like you're judging me off of like what's written on this piece of paper. You're not even like looking at me and like having empathy. You're just like a fucking just robot. Like, 10 charges. Oh, felony. Oh, get like there's no room of like.
It's like a system. It's
Yeah,
just a system, and they're a part of the cause.
It's
the
crazy.
machine
So like
system,
they
and-
tried to play me, dude, and I played them, dude, and like now like I'm like, dude, like me and my brother like did a drop of clothing and like donated money to the high school for their fashion program, like like just doing philanthropy work now
That's
back
sick.
home,
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what, fuck you, like
Yeah, it's like you got your little revenge for some.
I
petty
wasn't like a
bullshit.
bad kid, like
A lot
doing
of
like
skaters,
bad shit and stuff, like it was just what I was into, and
A lot
they
of
just,
skaters can relate to that shit because like that's the vibes you get when you're, especially back in the day when it wasn't as mainstream. It's like you just get hassled and treated like shit because you
Yeah.
like doing something.
Mhm.
It's misunderstood. Yeah, that's wild, dude.
But it's cool, like, dude, like, so they gave me community service after all of this, and here I am at the probation office. I'm with my brother, and like, the probation officer who was like appointed to me is like a fan of my brother, because my brother does like
It's funny how that works.
he'll do like basketball camps and stuff like that in Fall River, and like they're friends through that. That's how my brother knows the mayor, and everyone's like, oh my god, like, you guys are killing it, da 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 da, like, you have no terms for your probation, like, if you need anything, like, let me know. Like, it ended up really well, like, because I had an ulterior motive,
Yeah.
like, looking forward, like, I'm a good guy, you know what I mean? Like,
meaning you had an ulterior motive, as in you were trying to build a life around something you enjoy, not just causing riffraff, you're not a delinquent.
yeah, like I was
theft.
passionate about that, dude. Like, even
Yeah.
after I got in trouble, like, I kept doing that shit,
Yeah.
But like, I had like idols I looked up to and stuff that I'd seen like spin those, developing years into fine art careers.
Yeah.
And, designers and, stuff
That's
like
awesome.
that. So I knew if I just stayed course and stayed passionate and, grinded, I could, like, hey, I'm a good guy. I'm contributing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not killing anyone. Here's your money.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. I get
Oh.
that. It's crazy because those cities are so. There's a lot of those cities you're saying.
Like, all they care about is like Tom Brady, dude, or like they care about like, dude, like,
goat.
love Tom Brady. Still, yeah. Someone last night, I was hanging out with my buddy last night in Providence, and he said the phrase,
Oh shit.
bread and circus. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard it, but I don't know where or what it means.
Tell him what that means.
Bread and circus, as in Whole Foods bought bread and circus? Is that what you're talking about? Like the fucking.
Get it back.
I'm talking about, so back in the day, like Roman time and stuff, they had what are those called?
Amphitheaters. They have like the stadiums.
The stadiums and stuff.
Yeah.
So the Coliseum.
Coliseums, thank
So
you.
the phrase bread and circus means you give people bread
Entertainment.
and entertainment.
Yeah. They actually ended
You know-
up feeding
you know what I
people to lions, though. Dude, it went a little too far, bro. Went a little too.
But yeah, just
blood
keep,
is-
just keep the general population, like, just feed them and then like give them entertainment on the weekend. Football.
Yeah.
Bread and
no,
circus.
It's true, man. They do that now. It's like iPhone and fucking
Yeah.
Stimmy or something.
But my buddy said that and I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's
but,
a wild
But
one.
bread and circus was a grocery store.
Was it?
That's funny.
Just to clarify, Whole Foods bought it. Whole Foods
Oh, wow.
bought it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a bread and circus in Framingham.
I love when there's something from back in the day that someone sums up perfect and it connects like that. You're like, oh yeah, it just makes you see it. You're like, that's what that is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit in the Bible like that. You like
Getting
a lot of
older is crazy.
terms and like allegories and stories and shit. You're
Yeah.
like, whoa, they've already figured this out. We just forgot.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
Everything's cyclical.
Yeah, amen, brother.
Yo.
There's nothing new under
Said
the
that
sun.
like a motivational speaker. Anyway, fuck. What were we talking about before that?
We were talking about how you and John
Boston,
met.
how we
and then
met.
Boston.
Yeah.
John went to New York.
So this is a funny memory, actually. I feel like in this year when we met and I was going to art school and I had like all these like assignments to do, he'd just be chilling, like doing his own art, and then like, yo, I have this funny ass memory, like coming as a graffiti artist.
Yeah.
I remember like I would mix my own colors, you know what I mean? And he was just like, yo, that's a fire blue. That's what you said, dude. Like verbatim. And he was like, how'd you do that? And I was like, I just added white to the blue I had. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, you can do that, you know?
That's dope, though.
And like it was dope, and he just like took it and ran with it, man. It was so sick to see. And yeah, so that's how we met. And then I remember it got to a point where it was like, what is the next move or whatever? And I think like it got to a point where it's like, just go to New York, dude. Like that's what you should do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a good segue to how you got to New York. But like, yeah, it was like one of those things like, fuck, like Massachusetts, like, you know, kind of like fucked me over here in a way, you know. Where am I going to go?
That doesn't always work out like that, John. You only had community service, though? You didn't have to do any... You went to Dartmouth for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't always work out that way, dude. Sometimes they get, like... You got lucky, dude. I'm going to say, bro.
Yeah.
If you dip out, that doesn't
I'm
always...
eloquent.
Yeah, you somehow churched it up for the boys. They're like, he's okay.
Yeah, dude. So I had already kind of like went to New York a few times, hung out with my homies that were living there. Yeah, so Boston kind of, I guess, was not stale for me, but I had dreamt about living in New York one day, like a lot of fucking people do.
When I heard you were in New York, I was like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like I still don't even drive, dude. Like,
That's wild. That's wild. What?
So I ended up staying there for like almost 10 years.
Makes
And I
sense.
just came back. I lived in Providence, and
What I always, growing up skating with you and watching you skate and stuff, what I always appreciated...
I'm better now.
I'm sure you are. But what I always appreciated was that you did tricks that complemented your style. You weren't fighting your style. And you did like, they weren't like simple, but you did basic tricks that looked really good. Like you did them with style.
Really tasteful.
Yeah, you had good choice
As
and
the
trick
kids say now,
selection.
yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't fight your style. Because I was one who fought my style for a while. And then watching you, I was like, oh, this dude is comfortable and he doesn't fight a style. He does tricks that complement what he does.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I appreciate it too. Thank you.
It's like skating is crazy, bro. You remember when I was younger, I'm sure when you were younger, once you hit like 26, 27, it was like you're old.
Yeah.
Right?
I felt old the whole time.
You're old.
Yeah.
You're an old head.
Yeah.
You know, I think older guys are definitely having a moment, or they've been having a moment the past few years, right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's just more people are into skating.
Jim Greco.
Yeah, just more people are into skating now. So
I
it's
think,
like,
the platform's bigger. So.
yeah, it's widened. Yeah. On both ends, on the young end and on the older end of things, it's widened where you can build communities. Like 30-year-old dudes and 40-year-old dudes can have like the curb crew and people
Dude,
can
Ronnie
actually...
Krager just put a part up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Me and Curtis were skating curbs today.
Yeah, he looks
When
like
I
a
was
curb
younger,
guy.
when I was younger, dude, I would have never imagined being hyped on skating a curb.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be like, the hell, some noob shit. Like, what? Yeah. I'm like, yo, Curtis, I got this spot. Like, I got this cool curb spot.
Yeah.
So fun, dude. Like, I was burnt on skating for a really long time, and
Curb saved the day.
I moved back to Providence last year and got really hyped on skating spots I grew up skating.
Yeah.
But even more sense of like, all right, how can I approach this now?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't approach it. My mind didn't think that way when I was 17, 18. You know, like...
I know that feeling.
So I got hyped on skating again.
Like your skating matures and then you go back to the things you didn't appreciate before, but now
Yeah.
it's like a whole new realm.
Yeah, even now, dude, like, on the way here, he's like, oh, is that a spot? You know, it was like a ledge, and then we turned the corner to your street. And I was looking at like
There is.
the roof. I was like, oh, I can drop in on that roof. You know, like I'm into ride-on grinds and all that crap now, bro. I love it.
Fuck yeah.
I love it, dude. I love it.
I love that shit, dude.
Shouts out Dan McGrath.
Yeah, Dan's the man.
Working on a new project.
Let's take a moment to just
leaking it.
say I love Dan McGrath. He's the man. He's helped out a lot. Yeah. Dan's helped out a lot.
PVD Vintage.
Yeah, that's his.
Check out the Instagram.
Clothes.
Dan made me want to be a filmer.
Yeah.
So shout out you, Dan. Thank you so much. Like straight up, or like just inspired by that video, that whole process, like going on those fucking missions in Boston, and like just plug it. Oh,
Hey,
we're
you're
back.
fine.
Hey, we back. And yeah, and just like loving the drive and just how underground it really was, and Dan like is like represents that. Like
he does. He embodies it.
he embodies like putting in the work. And I'm also just to see what he's doing. Talk about like it's an interesting time we're living in. Like all our friends like have their own brands and shit, which is really cool. And he has his own thing with Providence Vintage and his girl, shout out Jess.
Bitch Nug.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about it. Like we all like we're on like a similar kind of like trajectory whilst doing all these different things. Like Dan pursued videography like professionally, still does it professionally, but also has this extremely successful small business. Go over to John, still skating. Dan, still fucking filming, has his own brand, you know what I mean? And then I don't know, it's kind of like a beautiful thing to watch. Like
it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, because like you see your friend do it and you're just like, oh, I can do that, you know what I mean? Like I hate working for other people or whatever. Like I want to try to do this other thing. Like,
and nowadays we need more people to be entrepreneurs and like do their own thing because, as you can see with all the politics of things,
Yeah.
it's like the more people we have that are sovereign individuals that can start their own businesses, and the less that we have to rely on some corporate rule or
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like. It's cool to like think about now. Like I guess I never really realized that until now. Like Nick Ricks has Island, fucking Dan's got Providence Vintage. You got JLCS, obviously Oyster Skateboards.
Starts with an idea, and then you just have to nurture it and not give up.
Yeah.
And then you get better, and then it
and
gets
you learn.
better. Yeah.
You literally learn. It's just like skating. You learn from failing, and like it's unfamiliar, and just like skateboarding was at a certain point to anyone. Like even a new trick is unfamiliar until you get it.
You
and
explore the whole domain, and you figure
like,
out what not to do until you find what works. And then you repeat that.
And of course I would do stuff differently. Like, I think if you don't feel that way about anything you do, then like you really don't care.
You're delusional.
Yeah, you're losing it. You lost the plot.
Come back.
But no, like for real, like there's plenty of things that all of us were probably naive at one point. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Or the other. But like that's also just like skateboarding and like just like fuck it, I'll figure it out.
I think that's probably the common thread, is that we all skated and that built that characteristic into us, is the idea that we all gravitated to a piece of wooden wheels that you can't really complete or beat because it's not a video game. It's like an ongoing project. Put your life and heart into it, and then you just never really give up on it, and then that helps you learn with the process of failure and getting back up, failure, getting back up.
Right.
And then you forge a style through repetition and figuring out what like I was saying about John, like he never fought his style, so it was like a smoother style,
Yeah.
Whereas me, I like fought my style at times, and then I was like got injured, and I'm like, why am I doing that? And, like, I learned that through skating.
Yeah.
As much as I wish I didn't do that, it was a life lesson I learned. Like, don't fight your style, not just on a skateboard, but in life. Go with your strengths.
100%.
You don't have to worry about what you're lack at. You don't have to focus on that so much, but go with your strengths and develop the skills, and then you can improve what you're weak at, Instead of just trying to go for what you're weak at just because I was watching other people. I was like, oh, I want to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that was my problem because I should have been watching what I was
skating
doing.
with Westgate.
I know. I had insecurity issues.
Like,
who
fuck.
wouldn't? Yeah, who wouldn't?
Yeah, for real, dude. For real.
So funny, dude.
Yeah. Fucking A. I always like when I think of Westgate, I just think of that Massasoit skate park.
Yeah.
And when I went to UMass Dartmouth, that's like, it was the underpass, or they call it the overpass now, I guess. Yeah. And Massasoit is where I'd go, you know.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
he always said like, people think this sucks, but I love it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good park compared to like I grew up in Framingham with fucking nothing. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like after Paradise closed. So yeah,
That's Elwood.
Elwood.
He's pissed because Emma's up here getting all the light.
Yeah, no, look at you.
Emma, how did you? Can't believe Emma made it into the podcast. And like she's been on the whole time, just passing.
Still on the show, bro.
Fix the auxiliary cord. I gotta
stop touching the mic, bro.
It's all good.
I'm gonna pass it to John.
All right, so we got to how you guys met. I guess we should get to like current day. Like, what's been going on, John? You're talking about possibly going back to New York. Like, I know you got a board now. Like,
I'm a pro skater now, Tony.
dude, I haven't seen you in a while. Congratulations, dude. Yes, it's fucking awesome.
Never expected it.
Hold on real quick. Oh, it just wasn't clicked in all the way. We're Gucci now.
All right.
Hey, seriously, congrats, John.
Thank you.
Especially because you helped start All I Need, being in the video, and like watching you skate, and I've always appreciated your style, and that you've just hung on to it.
Yeah.
Like, that's pro as fuck to me.
I mean, why would you give up on something that you dedicated so many hours and years and hardships and injuries? And I get, like, growing up and
there's a million bitch
getting a job and whatever, right? But, like,
don't let your art
stop
die.
completely, bro. Like,
yeah.
Come on now.
Thank you. You make me feel less crazy.
And like if you really love that shit, dude, like bro, like I just told you earlier, like I truly like so Dan McGrath again. Sorry to bring him up, but like bro, we filmed a video called Get Buck like 10 years ago, that shit like literally inspired like almost 3 generations of skaters. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
anytime someone brings up Get Buck, someone's like, oh, I love that. I love that.
We filmed that video, had no clue. We were just the homies smoking weed, filming. You know what I mean? Listening to 3-6 Mafia, bro. Like,
sick. Setting the tone right there.
So, dude, fast forward now, bro. Like, dude, I am hyped on skating again just as much. And, like, yeah, dude, like, I get it even more now, you know? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, wow, I couldn't even do this when I was younger. Like, it's weird. It's weird, bro. I don't know. I don't know if it's just, like, taking a different approach, you know? Like, I don't really jump down stuff so much. But, yeah, dude, skating's sick, dude. I don't understand how people can just quit that shit.
Well,
like,
you've been following the thread of your skating. That's what I like about skating is that you can.
I just knew what I was good at, you know.
Yeah, you can have your own thing with skating. It doesn't have to be a team thing. It can be, which is awesome. But like in sports, you need the team to play. But like you've been following the thread of your skating.
I love Pulio.
Which is growing up, yeah, bro. I can tell.
Come on now.
Yeah, I could tell.
Fast
feet, quick ollies.
Hey, I love that you said that. I loved like Dying to Live and like Toy Machine videos and stuff too. But dude, like I could skate park rails. Like I backlooped like an 8-stair rail that Dan recorded over, and after that I was just like over it, bro. Like
professional.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that church rail in New Bedford? It was like an 8-stair church rail.
Yes.
I backlipped that.
That's sick.
I was fucking hyped, dude.
It's like
church rail. Yeah.
It's like
I was hyped, right? And then I was like, all right, I'm going to front feeble it because I would skater edge rails, and I was like.
Kind of had them.
Did the lip slide. I was hyped. I'm like, oh, my God, this is so sick. I feel like crazy. I just did that. And then I went for a front feeble and smacked my head Arno Sari style.
Oh, damn.
And I stopped skating rails after that. I was like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, it sent you down.
You know?
Rails are one of those things, man. You can only get away with
But that was me forcing it, you know? Like, or I don't know if I was forcing it, but I was just like, bro, like. Pushing yourself. I guess pushing myself or
young,
something.
dumb, full of cum, bro.
But.
Just going raging.
I just do, like, what gets me off and, like, horny nowadays is, like, I love skating spots that literally are, like, played out. But, like, you approach it differently.
Yeah.
Or, like, you actually skate some other spot that might be around the corner and link to that other spot.
Yeah, I like that.
Like Tom Knox kind of.
Yeah, like a little exploring around familiar territory but find a new twist.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's been, like, motivating me a lot.
Yeah. Are you stacking clips?
I am.
I feel like that's a good thing, dude. Cause I
am.
that's awesome.
Bro, he hasn't stacked like this much footage like in
With like 3 different filmers.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
For like 3 different things.
That's good. Keep
Yeah.
it going, dude. Yes.
It's like I find the time and I'm like.
It's crazy because like there's just those times that like John has like an incredible drive on and off the board, but like when you see him in the zone or whatever, it's just like crazy how prolific he can be and like make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Or like when everyone else is like, oh, you know, I don't like this spot or whatever, he's like, but what if I skate it like this or whatever, you know? And it's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah. We need that person. Trailblazer. To
Hey.
trailblaze. Emma, get in there. Give her some kisses,
She
bro.
got in
Hey,
there
hold
for
on to
sure.
the mic for a second, Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bathroom, if you just go out this door and go left, it's the first one on the right. And just acknowledge the mirror above the bathtub.
Okay.
Feel free to lay in the bathtub and take a photo of you laying in the bathtub,
Acknowledge
please.
it, and then tag
Take a
All I Need
photo.
podcast.
This is a good time to, actually, let me just check the computer.
Yep, go for it.
I got a new laptop, so, like,
You got that rose gold.
yeah. So I just want to make sure. Of course I can't type. Oh, hell yeah. Dude,
Still going.
only an hour. That's awesome.
That's good.
I love this. This has been a fun podcast so far.
Dude, I'm having a good time. Uma is loving me.
I'm gonna have to make sure I get another mic situated now because I haven't had 3 people in a long time, and I realize I don't have a third mic that actually works for the mixer. But after this podcast, I'm inspired because I brought this up today, and I was like getting juiced on the idea of 3 people. So
We're putting you to work.
I love it though. This is I like this.
Hell yeah.
This is a good time to go into like the formation of Oyster. Like where'd the name come from? Where'd the concept come from? How'd you get the money? Like, how'd you start?
Yeah. Basically, again, it was just kind of going to art school. And one cool thing about art school is like there's actually a good amount of skateboarders almost at like any art school because it does attract like those creative type of people like we talked about earlier. So I learned screen printing basically.
Oh, all right.
And I was like, damn, like I can do this. You know what I mean? Like it's fun too. And I was doing it, you know, like for my own art.
Were you doing it through like who had the equipment? The
Mass
school?
College of Art. Yeah. That's where I ended up working there for a little bit too. Yeah, I basically took that printmaking class and I was like, it's a wrap. Like, I love this.
Yeah.
And like, was like, you know, basically teaching my friends, like, again, like I can't help but like share and teach people that want to learn something.
Yeah.
It's in my nature. And also like, and that goes on all levels, like whether it's like budgeting money, like if people want to like learn anything or whatever, like I will do that. John's taking a flick, getting flicked up.
That's awesome, though.
Getting
That's a
flicked
good
up.
characteristic to have, man. I share that with you. I like to share because, like, you're excited and you know it helped you, so maybe you could help someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like me and my wife talk about this all the time. Like,
Damn, how long you been married?
4 years. 4 years.
That's an accomplishment, dude.
Yeah, I'm killing it.
Hell yeah.
She's the one that's killing it, really.
I get it.
Yeah, she's
What do
the
you
one.
got? What do you guys talk about? I was cutting you off.
We talked about basically. Oh yeah, shout out my wife Ashley
Hell
if
yeah.
she ever listens.
Chew, chew, chew. Hopefully she does.
Yeah,
Hell
I think she will. She'll probably like critique me and say how ungrammatically correct I was or whatever.
And
You
she'll
say
be
fuck
right.
too much, yeah.
It's art, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I forget like what I was saying that we talked about now that I've like brought her up, but like I'm pretty sure it
You were
was.
talking about how it's good to like help people pass on what you learn. It's like,
Yeah,
that's right.
So this is what we're talking about, like almost like that old timey like things of like not sharing information with each other or not talking about it. Like it's starting to end, like whether it's like money
yeah.
or shit like that, which is like
Famine mentality.
yeah,
People are like, there's only enough for one.
right.
Instead of there's plenty, we just gotta like get
Right.
along.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, kinda.
We
like,
gotta figure out a way to get along.
yeah, along those lines. So, yeah, and then from that, like learning screen printing, it was like, oh, we can make clothing, and like we experimented with it. And then, John moved to New York, and I was like back in Boston, basically just finished undergrad college and everything. Just got to this point where it was like, holy shit, I have like more free time. Like,
Yeah.
but then I started teaching, and you asked where the money for Oyster came from, and it came from fucking teaching, like
Sick.
straight up.
Yeah, that's rad, man.
And I would fucking work, like 9 to 5, but it's really 7 to 3, and then get off work and like go to Copley, and I worked on these like couple Copley edits, and like doubling back, like it was exhausting, but so worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and in terms of like starting Oyster, it really was like just like, oh, I can make clothing now, like pretty easily in my fucking studio apartment in Boston. Like,
Yeah.
Whereas prior to that, you're like, how do I do this? You
Yeah,
know?
it can seem like a taunting, like a overwhelming task.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
daunting task.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like I started working at Mass Art so I could still use the fucking printmaking studio. At least that was like my like reasoning. I was like, I could still do it there though, don't
Yeah.
have to like, fuck up because it's in a studio apartment and get my cat's hair on a shirt or something,
Or your dog on your lap.
Yeah, for
Emma, I
real.
fucking love you, Emma.
Dude, she is.
Oh, she's behind you.
Yeah, dude, she is right behind me, warming me up.
Yeah.
So yeah, fucking. All right, shout out Brian Barnes, soul brother.
Shout out Brian Barnes.
Yeah, my
Yes,
boy.
sir. Yes, sir. We love you. We miss you.
Why Brian Barnes?
Proud of you. So he came up with the name Oyster, and he was going through his own like life path and like struggles at a certain point, and he was like my partner in it. Now he's on the West Coast sober, killing it. Like works with dogs. He also does like AA and he mentors people. He's just doing so good. And
Sounds like he ride his ship a little bit.
dude, every time I see him, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
just impressed with
That's awesome.
with him and his presence. Because I met him when he had like no front tooth. Sorry to fucking disclose that, Brian, but yeah, and coming to my crib like just crashing for like 2 days straight, and now he's just like this full of fucking energy and light, and
It's amazing when someone can pull themselves out of hell and right the ship and like find reasons to keep it together.
yeah, 100%.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, 100%. And now he's like surfing and shit in Santa Ana and California. And he's Cali.
Cha.
But I love it, dude. I love it. Eating healthy, all that.
Do you remember the first? What's the first graphic?
First graphic on clothing?
Yes.
I think it like I don't think it was that. I think technically it was I just totally ripped off Shell gas station.
Nice.
I just took that Shell and I wrote Oyster instead of Shell.
That's awesome.
And I put them on hats and shirts.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. You embroidered it.
Yeah, on hats and shirts.
It was dope.
Yeah, yeah. True skateboarding,
Yeah, definitely.
When you first seen Oyster, like
Yeah.
for the first time, were you like, who is this?
I was a little like, what the fuck is this? More like that. Not like in a negative or positive, but like I just see something that someone's creating and I'm like, like what the fuck's going on? And I wasn't like totally sold, but I wasn't like turned off by any means.
Yeah.
I was just like, huh.
Well, there was like a funny thing that was happening when it first came out. Everyone was like, "Whose company is this?" You know what I mean? Like the stuff looks cool, but whose company is this?
Some East Coast shit.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah,
like, do I even fuck with that person at all? You know what I mean? Because if I don't, their company sucks. Like I don't know. It was kind of like that, and I was like, I'm a
I weather that storm.
yeah. I'm a under the radar like kind of person. Like
You
know-
look just like my brother. I told you that before, but
yeah. I mean,
he's
he's a handsome guy, man.
Yeah.
He's got to be a handsome
He's
guy.
kind of under the radar too, like
Yeah.
as far as like.
Yeah, like I do these things and I create a certain separation when it came to becoming a teacher. You know what I mean? Like unfortunately, like my lifestyle that like maybe I wanted to live, and maybe that was my grad school experience. Those first few years, I was like, I need this. Like I need to just let this out. This like kind of like partying that I didn't like that I felt like I lost out on a little bit from like going this path of like just like fuck, I got to get straight A's and become a teacher. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which I did. And that was sick. And then grad school was like, I'm just going to be an artist.
Too much work and no play.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes Curtis a dull boy or,
Yeah.
whatever. And so, yeah. So, yeah. And grad school was great, you know, like new.
Tell the conversation.
What?
Should I go to grad school? I was like, all right, should I do SBA? And I was like, yes.
Yeah. Like
What's SVA?
SVA School of Visual Art in Chelsea, Manhattan.
Right.
And that's where I ended up going for grad school. And like I was on the fence because I actually got into fucking RISD
Wow.
for printmaking. Again, back to printmaking.
Yeah.
And then this program in New York was like far more like interdisciplinary. Like no, like you're not just doing printmaking. You're not just painting. You're doing whatever the heck you want to do with your art practice. That's how they would phrase it, you know? So yeah, and New York was great just for obviously skateboarding and art and meeting people and throwing a really like successful pop-up show that John was a huge part of.
That's sick. In New York?
Yeah.
The brand was almost more recognized in New York.
Yeah, and that kind of.
At first, it was more recognized in New York?
Yeah, and I think like that was kind of like just. I hate to say this because I live in Boston and I love Boston, but the scene in terms of like skateboarding, at least at that time, it's getting better. It's getting better, but it was very like fucking like, fuck, all this shit's like whack, like fuck, like people trying to start their own company, like it's not going to ever be as good as yada yada.
I feel like a lot of cities are like that. They're
Yeah.
like, they just like poo-poo on outsiders coming in.
Right.
In Boston, definitely when I was coming up, they were kind of mad at us too.
Yeah.
We'd come in and light up their spots or find spots, and then they'd be pissed because they're like, yeah, they're out of towners.
Yeah, like stupid shit like that, which like I just like don't agree with.
Yeah.
PJ did that in the PJ Ladd video in 2007. Get him out of here.
Yeah. I'm a big like, people call me out for doing tricks that had already been done, most ABD dude ever.
You didn't do it though.
I know, and that's the thing is like, what am I gonna? Yeah, like, am I gonna roll up to a spot and just because someone did the trick and I feel like doing the trick, I'm just gonna talk myself out?
Also, not everyone's
not
a fucking like nerd about it and doesn't know
exactly.
every fucking trick that's been
That's
done.
some Cali shit too, because I went to Cali and there was a spot and they had a list. Someone wrote a list of every trick that had been done on the concrete at the top of the stairs, and I'm like who gives a fuck at this point? Like,
Jesus Christ,
so
might as well
stupid.
do it at the skate park.
Most jock shit I've ever
Like,
seen. Yeah.
Someone already kickflip backtailed that ledge at the skate park.
Yeah, it's like, well, they're not my body, and I didn't do it, so fuck off.
Yeah.
You kind of got to have that attitude sometimes.
Yeah, for real.
But growing up on the East Coast, I felt some heat like that too. So
Yeah, so just like a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And like I love it. Like, you know, like I love New England. I love growing up in outside of Boston, yada yada. But yeah, there was like this thing I did like notice in the Boston sort of like skate scene and just like mentality that like made me want to start a company because like there are to this day like so many good skateboarders in Boston
yeah,
that have nowhere to fucking go
yeah.
or aren't being supported necessarily.
There
you
could
know?
be more done. Like, skateboarders could take on more responsibility
more.
and build it up and help each other more.
Way
like,
more.
Instead of lusting after some sponsor that's some cool hype shit, you could create the cool hype shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like people I think that should have like their name on a board don't.
Yeah.
Like that are rippers in the Boston area.
I can relate with you on that because there's a lot of dudes I thought the same thing. I'm like, I need to do this just because that dude's put in the work. And
Yeah.
like, someone's got to figure this out so we can make this just.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like create something. Like I've like again like not being afraid of like failure. Like
Yeah.
again, like I think I entered this like I didn't know I was gonna be making boards eventually. I was just like if I can screen print, that's something creative I can do. Maybe make some extra money or something.
Yeah.
And make more stuff with that money. And yeah, and it kind of just evolved on its own, and it was really like really cool to watch, and it like happened to me like at a certain point where I was like, oh, I need to like start like collaborating more with people. Like there's like, unfortunately, I think everyone kind of goes through this when they like are at a certain age where you're like, oh, I don't fucking need nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could do this all myself.
Yeah.
And then I started screen printing fucking skateboards in my studio apartment. I was like, holy fuck. Like this is fun, but like, holy shit, dude. Like, yeah, like, yeah. But it worked and I had fun with it. And even like trying to press the boards ourselves and having like friends of mine do that. And that's what I was doing. And I'm never going to forget this. Back to Copley. I remember you were there with like some All I Need dudes.
Yeah.
And you just like, we ran into each other. And at that point we had known each other for a little bit or had a back and forth, or we had product made via ESP with Redmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
That's
those
right.
like hoodies made and socks.
Yep.
I remember. Yeah.
That's right. I remember.
And
I forgot that we started with apparel.
Yeah. And then you just came up to me and like we're getting a heat transfer machine, and if you want boards, and that was like right around like you hit that. Like, I don't know if you like knew or something.
Lined up perfect.
It just lined up perfectly because I was like, fuck, dude, I don't know if I can like keep printing boards in my small ass studio and like sell them for this amount of money, yada yada, you know what I mean? And have the quality be really good because like I said, I was having like friends press the boards.
Yeah.
And they were good, but they weren't great. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? The concave was super mellow and shit. But like it was just cool that we tried. And that's what I wanted to see, like really like again, being naive and trying and failing.
Go scratch the surface, my dude.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, thank you for reaching out and telling me that at Copley, because I think like, I let a few months go by and I was like, hey, were you serious about like, doing that for, us?
You look just like my brother.
Yeah.
So, and then I met you and I was like, he seems like such a mellow, cool dude. And like, I didn't really like, when I started getting the heat press machine, I was like, I'm not turning this into a business. I'm doing this for all I need in the world.
Yeah.
And like, I have enough work with these things. But then like, I met you and I was just like, felt compelled. Like you said, to share because for whatever reason.
Are you the first like person you kind of?
It might have been. Well, yeah, because we did apparel, so you're definitely one of the first for sure.
Yeah.
Because that was before I even had the heat press.
I think you did like a few boards for like shops before we did that first graphic, like that came out right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Or hit in America. The first one was the oyster in different languages.
Oh yeah.
Down the middle, just a super simple. I like was ahead of my time. I mean, no bullshit. I just no, like ahead of my time for that like simple idea. It's like it's funny how something so simple could be so beautiful. And then when I've thought of that, I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster. You know what I mean?
I like simple sometimes. It looks really clean. And
Yeah.
It just like hits,
Yeah,
If you find it or if it finds you.
And also just to like kind of like start with you. Like I didn't want to like be like 8 colors and fucking first graphic I do.
Yeah.
Like, you know
I was
what mean?
definitely just like trying to find, like if I was like, if I'm going to work with someone, I want them to be able to be flexible because I don't, like I'm just getting going too,
Right.
with like making this happen. So like I don't want to promise a bunch of shit I can't do. And I already had enough work and sales that I was like, I don't really need to take on any headaches.
Yeah.
And I had some people that work on headaches. And I was like, I don't really need this right now. So, but when I met you, I was like, felt compelled to like say that because like, probably because we did apparel together and it was a pleasant experience. And
Right.
then, but yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'm glad we linked up.
For real.
Yeah.
Look, and I can't thank you enough, and on behalf of like a lot of people in the skateboard community in the Northeast, dude, like you do so much for the community, and
Thanks, man.
like with Swan Common and these other people, like we really appreciate it. And
No worries, man.
yeah, it's fucking sick.
It helps all of skateboarding because the money I make from All I Need goes directly back into skateboarding. So whether we're making more art or we're doing a trip or we're
Right.
investing in a podcast so people have a platform or like whatever it is, I work 5 jobs so I don't have to I can put it back into it,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So, but you helping and contributing and being part of that all funnels right back into East Coast skateboarding.
Exactly. And that's like kind of like the whole point, like back to why Oyster started. And it was also to kind of like, again, like I didn't like this mentality that kind of like Boston was being known for like being a bunch of dicks, like really like gatekeeping, like you said.
There's some vibes, dude.
There's some
There
vibes
was some
there.
vibes.
And I was like, what's wrong with just being like a fucking good person and a good skateboarder / like starting a brand that like still can be like, this is wrong, this is fucking bad, or have opinions. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Have opinions, but like, don't close off this wonderful thing to like that.
It's the easier thing to do, to be honest, man.
Right.
It's so easy to tear something down. It's
Of
harder to build
course.
the shit up,
Of
you know?
course.
So it's like all those people talking shit. It's like, save your fucking breath and put that
Yeah.
energy into creation instead of just tearing someone else's hard work down, you
Right.
know? And it's so easy to do that when you're insecure and worried. And
Yeah.
I dealt with that my whole life growing up.
It's
man.
getting better, but like, I totally.
It's everywhere, not just
I
Boston,
know
but, like,
it's not, but I can't help but be hyper aware of Boston because I live there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm with you because I grew up skating Boston.
Yeah.
There's vibes for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't
And
catch
it's-
any of that now. But
No, it's much better now.
Yeah.
It's much better now. But like, let's put it this way: like, I like when I was going to grad school in New York in like 2016 to 2019, I was like so hyped and so blown away at the amount of girl skateboarders like
Yeah.
in New York City
Fuck yeah.
that rip.
Yeah.
And in Boston, it's finally starting.
Yeah, it's starting to hit.
It's finally starting.
One
And-
of my favorite skateboarders is a 13-year-old girl named Chloe.
Yeah.
It's not. We're not in Boston, but
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah. Hey, eventually, like, I mean, and it does suck because, like, I want to sponsor a girl skater, like, straight up. Send me some fucking footage.
Hell yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm going to use it. Just like, let me see that you're into this and want to do this. you
Yeah,
know?
find the right person.
Yeah.
That's like my homie Chloe. Like, she's just like a 13-year-old who, like, I met and I'm like kindred spirit with, which is
Yeah.
weird to say because she's a 13-year-old girl. But I'm like, yo, she loves skating how I love skating.
Right.
It's weird to see that reflection in someone else,
Right.
especially a 13-year-old little girl. And I met her through like skateboard lessons. Like, her mom brought her to me to do lessons because she had vertigo at one point, and I went
Oh,
through vertigo.
damn.
So her mom was like, "Oh, maybe you can help her, like, talk her through the vertigo thing, because vertigo lingers forever." So,
Crazy.
but yeah, like, but girls skating is sick. It's like
Yeah.
a
I
thing
mean,
now.
it's a matter.
wasn't a thing before.
It was a matter of time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
also just like cutting that, like, just whatever, like, toxic masculinity out of this fucking bullshit, and being accepting of like people's differences. Really,
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. So yeah, that was like the kind of like what made the wheels start turning for Oyster, and then like the name came from Brian. Again, shout out Brian Barnes, and I just fell in love with it, like, for a lot of reasons. Like, obviously being in New England, like, known for seafood or whatever.
Yeah.
The underground, like, component of the name, and then also, like, I'm fucking allergic to mollusks, and
Perfect.
I can't eat them. And to this day, my fucking British father, who loves fucking oysters, like, forgets I'm allergic to them.
That's hilarious.
He's always like husking an oyster. He's like, "Here you go, son."
a little
I'm
oyster juice
like,
in your eye.
I'm fucking 30, dude, and I can't eat those, and you don't remember. It's mad funny. He loves me, I swear. he just like loves oysters more, I guess, you know. So yeah, that's the origin story.
The letters look good together.
Yeah, and that was the whole other thing, like, just like, yeah, and the name process is crazy sometimes when you're starting something,
Yeah.
And then Brian was like, Oyster, and I was like, okay, that's it.
I
You know
like
what
it
mean?
because it's just different enough. Where
Yeah,
you're just like, what is this?
yeah,
And
and
then
then
you
like it started, Frog became a thing, and like, so I was like, yeah, I was like, all right, I made a good choice, right?
Yeah.
Kids like Frog.
Someone does. It's alive.
Yeah,
It's out there.
Yeah.
Is it a French company? Frog?
it's Chris Millick's company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
New York, LA.
My
New
bad.
York turned LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Frog skateboards.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the opposite.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it started, and just like, again, like, watching it build, and I really gotta thank John, and that was the first person that, like, in terms of, like, yeah, well, I hate to, like, even phrase it this way, but you were writing for, like, Mood NYC there for a bit there, and then they kind of, again, brand way ahead of their time, in my opinion, kind of like knew the direction that the skateboard, like, sort of like image should go in terms of like clothing, design, and all those things. So shout out Calvin. Yeah, quasi before quasi kind of like aesthetic.
Grandison was involved with Mood, right?
Yep. Grandison.
Grandison designed the A logo.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did my first like 3 logos. He did a whole like logo sheet for me.
Wow.
Cause he Solstice, he helped form Solstice and
Right.
crazy.
So that kind of like didn't like fall apart necessarily, but just like stopped.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking screen print boards in my apartment. You know?
Damn, I had no idea.
And I was like, John needs boards. Fucking my riders that ride for Oyster that I give clothing to need boards. Fuck it, I'm just gonna give it a shot. And again, full circle, thanks to you, like it's way easier to be able to provide boards for my riders, and to people, like in general,
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's like I'm stoked on what I'm doing because of that reason right there, is that I can be like that hub in this area where you can show up at the warehouse and see it and like pick up the product. Like we don't have that in this area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like this is right here.
Yeah.
Like,
and it like to top it all off, like just like with the new wood shop you're working with, it couldn't have come at like a better time.
Yeah.
With all the shortages and stuff. And
oh man, I was hustling to make this
you
all
were
work.
dude, you were. And
Insane.
people don't understand like what happens in or how much work it takes to make this happen. So yeah.
So
you're a beast.
Surviving the times, my dude, because like things are just happening with the pandemic and all these companies are shutting people out, and like certain people get priorities, and if you're not that brand, and there's like they know they can get that check from so and so, so I just like stay on top of it the whole time. Can't take my eye off the target for a second, and it pays off,
Yeah.
Luckily, I built my life around this whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I want to do is like skateboard shit. So like,
Right.
like Peter Pan style, But, but, luckily my lady's like just as focused. Like you guys seen like downstairs the salon. If she doesn't have any clients down there or employees, I'll take you down there and check it out. It's pretty wild. But she's just like focused and driven on building things and her business and like, and doesn't want any kids. So that helps. I love kids, but like that would me justifying buying 2,000 skateboards over feeding my kid wouldn't make sense.
Well, dude, I just got a puppy for the first time. I couldn't even
You get
imagine
it.
what a fucking kid would be like.
I got 2.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to take a bathroom break and then we'll come back.
How you doing, John?
Pretty good.
This isn't the 9 Club. Just playing. Just playing. And we're back with an.
What's up, Emma?
Oh man.
What are we getting into?
Just making fun of Chris Roberts
Oh,
while you're gone.
The 9 Club.
Yeah.
I intentionally never watch it just because I don't want to be influenced.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you.
Which sucks because they've had so many guests on, and
Yeah,
there's so many
fuck.
dudes. I'm like, I want to, but then at the same time, I'm like, it's gonna ruin it because I'll probably talk to some of these dudes. I don't want to like. I'd rather just hear it from them.
Right.
So funny.
For sure.
I'm in another Guinness.
Another round of Guinnesses.
Dude, my shoulder's so sore.
Put a Guinness on it.
I fucked my shoulder up. I know. I've been icing it for days. I fucked my shoulder up filming the Groms, and I fucking just hit a hump on the ground. Come on, Emma. You already stole the show, bro. What more do you want, bro? You swing the mic over.
Okay.
How'd the GoPro thing worked out? How'd it work out?
Successful.
Like, how did he tell you, or like, did you guys do something? How'd it work out, dude?
So, dude, it started out as kind of like.
And did you expect it? Were you ready for it, or?
Yeah. So. we talked about having like just a board designed by me, right?
Oh, right.
And then it being like a bro model.
Yeah.
And then I was living with my grandmother last winter, and my grandfather passed away. So we were already talking about like doing these boards or whatever, and then my grandfather had this like I was like, all right, I'm doing 2 boards, and they're both gonna be like dedicated to him. And dude, I designed these 2 boards, and then we released them.
Hell yeah.
We didn't say it was a pro model or anything. We just, we put out a board with my name on it, and everyone bought them.
Dude, that's so sick.
And I remember I remember being like hyped, right? Like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna design a board. And then once they got sent out to get made, I got like self-conscious. I'm like, what if no one buys it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a slap in the face, right?
A little bit. I worried about that too, to be honest. You're like, fuck, dude, what I get myself into?
Yeah. So, but then, dude, they kind of flew off the shelf like hotcakes, and I was like, I'm a pro skater.
Yeah.
Like
that solidifies it for
like
sure.
Yeah, like people talk shit about Sean Pablo or certain dudes in the industry. They're like, oh yeah, I can do all those tricks that he does, but it's like but you couldn't sell boards like he could.
Yeah.
So that kind of clicked to me. Like, yeah, you got to be good, but like it's like that whole like marketable. Do people actually fuck with you? Like, have you put in the work? Because like when we put that board out, people were like, well deserved, long overdue. Like they would say shit like that, and I was like, holy shit! All right, I guess I am a pro skater. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a good feeling.
Like it just felt. I mean, I do this shit for myself, dude, but I was just like, holy shit, I've impacted people enough for them to want to buy a skateboard with my name on it.
It's like a nice, solidifies it because you don't know because you're just constantly skating, putting out stuff. You've been doing it for a long time to like know like what a pro skater is and to have your name and be able to sell a product. It just brings it around. So this is working.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean,
hard work pays off.
Growing up skating, you want to be a pro skater, right?
Dream, yeah.
That pipe dream died 10 years ago. Like I don't know. It died a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I guess you just stay on your path. You stay true, and hard work pays off.
Definitely,
right?
man. Definitely. It took me a long time to go pro. I didn't go pro till I was like 26, 27. Easily. For World. I didn't think it was going to happen. I was riding for Zoo.
Right.
And they had a stack team. That team
dude,
was so stacked.
Dude, I watched that video a couple months back, dude. That video is
it's pretty heavy.
Pretty fucking heavy, bro.
It's heavy. It's a big squad.
What happened to Zoo York?
They got bought and sold a lot of times. You get big enough, and then there's like vested interest, and then there's so many people and egos. And
did you watch that All the Streets Are Silent documentary by any chance?
All the Streets Are Silent.
It just came out and not too long ago.
Oh, is it like
Jeremy Elkin like directed or produced it, and it's like literally the dude who founded Zoo York is narrating it.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ian or something?
I'm thinking like Rodney Smith and like the Shut days, like the I'm gonna space it right now.
It's all good.
Because when I fell in love with Zoo, it was like Harold and Zared was just on
there.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
But that documentary's sick. My boy Kyber, who films for Oyster, Kyber Jones worked on it. It's a really good watch. Just kind of like,
what's it talking about? Early formative years.
It's talking about Zoo York,
like
literally,
beginning?
like just and skateboarding in New York, and like how that kind of defined.
Because mixtape, right? Mixtape was the illest shit ever.
Basically.
That's when I actually got turned on. Was like mixtape.
Yeah.
You got Todd Jordan, you got Peter BC, all of the heavy hitters squad was so sick,
So this documentary was just really great. So you should watch it.
Yeah, I have to peep it.
Yeah, for sure. Just wanted to throw that in there about Zoo York.
Hey, take it back.
Uh-oh.
I was asking John about like how he turned pro or how it happened. Like, what was your thoughts on it? How'd you go about that? Did you have other pros?
No.
That's the first
John's the first one.
Wow.
And like literally it's like it kind of like was like, hey, like you're an artist. What do you think would look cool on a board? And then it kind of got to that point for me where I was like, well, like, why can't I just put his fucking name on it? You know what I mean? And
That's a weird thing though, to like be a brand and
Yeah.
have the confidence to be like, I can turn someone pro.
yeah,
I had that moment
yeah.
where I was like,
Wait a second, what's the fuck? There's no rules.
yeah, it's like I'm working and
And
we're
like,
putting the work in.
no
like-
offense, like I love this dude, but the skateboarder to a certain extent. But like in my head, I was like, yo, if like Leo Valls has his name on a board, I'm
Yeah.
not talking shit about him in any manner, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of his style of skating, it's like he didn't fight his style or whatever, and he's on this.
I agree because it goes to that gatekeeper shit where
Right.
you're like, oh, we all have to have a dick measuring contest on who can do the biggest
Yeah.
rail to be pro or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, no, some people just have some mass appeal or they have a style or a way
Right.
of doing something that it might not be technically as good or as gnarly, but they do it where people want to watch it
Yeah.
or see it or whatever. There's like.
And it was great.
That's what's great about skating. Is
Yeah.
you don't have to be on the team and get the same points and all the.
And
to
it was
be the
great
pro.
to see, like, even like we put out like that little John promo part, and like people I've never met before, that people that knew you maybe were just like best style.
Hell yeah.
Dude has got the best style, well deserved. You know what I mean? And that like solidified. It was like, yeah, my boy's pro. Like,
Yeah.
long overdue. Like,
It's a
he's-
good feeling to know you
Yeah.
can do that as a brand too. Like you built something to the point where you can put someone's name on and you can sell that board.
Yeah.
And that's a synergy together. You guys are working together and it
Yeah.
actually fucking worked.
Yeah,
Like
and
sick.
it was dope too, like just to be able to like be like, yo, here's fucking 10 boards, bro. You don't have
Yeah.
to buy boards
Fuck yeah.
for
That's
a,
like
a
12-year-old
while.
kid shit right
Yeah,
there. You're like,
like,
yeah.
sell them if you want, but I would ride them. You know, save a few, please. You know, you're gonna wish you saved them. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was just like one of those moments where it was like, fuck. And this was like right around the time like he got like arrested, and was in Dartmouth, like.
Probably could use some support, bro.
Well, like it was that I was
life.
we were already like doing it, but then that happened, and I was just like, fuck, man. Like any way I can help my close fucking friend, who's like also my favorite skateboarder. That like when I like was in a period of my life of like, fuck, am I gonna be like a professional teacher and like just like not live out this dream
Yeah.
or whatever? John like made me fall back in love with like skateboarding
Hell yeah.
and be like, yo, like I can do both. Like, why not?
Yeah.
You know?
Don't let it die.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, like long overdue in my opinion, and yeah, well deserved for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers to that too.
Boom, boom.
We'll high five. I'll high five you. Yeah, John. Congrats. And Curtis, on the Sick as a brand, it's a milestone for a brand, a skate brand especially. like,
Yeah,
to
for
be able
sure.
to turn someone pro and like have
Yeah.
it work out, and people give you positive feedback, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
It's good to
it's
remember that.
like more like couldn't have asked for a better response, and yeah, better first pro.
Yeah, bro.
Better first pro.
Okay, so I guess where we go from here is just like maybe pass it to John. Just what's on the horizon, man? What are you working towards? What are we doing? Where's the motion going? Where are we going, bro?
So I'm going back to Brooklyn in a week or two.
I like how you said that. A little smile
It's a
on
little,
his face.
it's a little bittersweet, man. Yeah, dude, I was living in a cool space in Providence, like warehouse style art loft. New owners bought the building, and my old roommate has a room open for me, and I'm gonna go back out to Brooklyn and develop this brand I have with my brother, who still lives out there.
Oh, word.
And yeah, I'm just gonna
That's awesome.
go out, work on this brand I'm doing. Skate a little bit, I guess. I don't know, just my art shit. Just see where it goes.
What's the vibes in New York? What's your routine? What's a day in New York for you?
He gets a bacon, egg, and cheese, and like a bag of potato chips, and puts the chips on the bacon, egg, and cheese.
I bag it.
Or he gets waffle fries, because I've experienced this many times. Or he gets waffle fries, and puts that shit on the bacon, egg, and cheese. And he always says, "It's the texture, bro."
So that happens. Coffee. I might have had one before the sandwich, but
Yeah.
it depends.
Are we black coffee?
It depends.
Okay.
If there's no cream, yeah, it's black.
I get that.
A little sweeter in the evening if I want another one later in the day. My routine, I don't know, dude. So I'm gonna go back. I lived in New York from like 2012 till about 2019, 2020, and I was living it up.
Yeah.
You know,
Fuck
soaking
yeah.
that shit in. But then I got over it. The past few years. The last couple of years I lived there, I felt like I was in a rat race.
Yeah.
You know, and I was kind of like, dude, this sucks. You know,
Yeah.
almost trapped. You know, because like it's the price point to like live there is almost so high, dude. You can't even like leave unless you're
Yeah.
like really wealthy. Like if you're grinding out there, you can't even like take a vacation because you spend the money on the vacation, you spend the money there, and then you get back and you're poor and you can't pay your rent. So it's like, you know,
Yeah.
I'd come out here for the holidays and be here for like a day or two and dip because I had to.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and make money. I'm in a better position now. I don't think I'm gonna like party as much. You know, I love like techno and I like dancing and shit still. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm gonna go there and just work, put my head down, paint, and just kind of develop this brand with my brother.
Fuck yeah.
We're working with big names. I'm not gonna mention any, but
It's coming. It's coming.
I got some big names in the pocket, and I'm just gonna try and cultivate this brand with my brother, elevate it, and work for myself, and just see where it goes. You know.
And you've been stacking clips, so things are looking up.
Yep.
that's
It's
good
so,
shit.
dude. It's so hard to like. I'll have something that I have to do, right? But let's go skate. And I'm like, I'm kind of busy, you know? But then I'll be like, immediately be like, fuck it, you know? And I'll go skate. But then when I'm on the session, I'm not like serious where I'm like mean or anything, but like if someone's like, so Dan McGrath and I have been skating a lot again. Dan put the camera down for a long time, dude.
Yeah, he's doing all the clothes and stuff, and just like focusing on other stuff.
He started, dude. Dan's been in the streets again, like for like 2 months now.
That's the best thing I've heard.
It's like me,
Yeah.
Mark Poole, Jordan
Ooh.
Siavong,
Yeah, so good. Both.
Nick
of 'em.
Ricks. You know,
Ooh, classic. Classic.
we're kind of on some. Yeah, I'm gonna say we're on some cool guy shit where it's like, you know, because like there's, can we get on the sesh? And we're like, you know,
I do.
because we're all older now, dude. Like.
It's like we
I'm in
don't
my
need you
I'm in
mucking
my
about.
30s. Like
Yeah.
everyone's in their like mid-late 20s, dude. Like, no, we're not warming up at the skate park. You know what I mean? We're in the streets with it, and we're fucking getting busy, dude, making money.
Yeah,
And I love that shit, dude.
that's the shit.
You
I
know?
miss it. I fucking miss it.
But it's hard, dude. I fucking literally like I turned 34 in October, and for some reason I'm fucking hurt all the time.
You're getting old, bro.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
It's a hard thing
It's
to
finally
admit.
fucking catching up.
It's hard to admit. Yeah, I'm 30. I'm gonna be 39 on the 15th of
Always got
November.
these
Yeah, is it November now?
Yeah,
Yeah, on the 15th I'll be 39.
looking good.
Thank you, dinosaur.
Looking
Dinosaur,
good.
bro.
Yeah, the ankle's been giving me trouble.
Front, back.
Both.
Ooh. I get it.
One will heal, and then I hurt the other one.
Yeah.
That one will heal up, hurt the other one. It's
So
been
annoying.
like a back and forth the past like 2-3 months.
And you always grind through it because it's like.
Well, yeah, I'm like, all right, I can't flip my board regular. I guess I'll skate switch.
Yeah.
I can't skate switch. I guess I'll skate regular.
And it works out sometimes, and that's what keeps that going.
So yeah, like what I was saying is like, all right, I'm making a painting. I'm working on a commission. I have like 3 hours to kill. Let's go skate.
Yeah.
But when I'm going out and I'm like, I'm almost treating it as a job.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll go to the skate park here and there when I have time and just chill, whatever. But I like fully enjoy like going out in the streets and like
being boxed in and having to work within
dude, it's
a
like
parameter.
it's not like a ritual. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it's like sacred, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine. Like me and Mark Poole were talking about that the other day. I'm like, dude, I was like at a party the other night, like took mushrooms on Halloween. And
Hell yeah.
I was just like, I was with Mark. He was like dressed up as Chad Muska, and
You're on mushrooms. He's Muska.
yeah, it was fire, dude. It was so fire.
That is fire.
But you know, we were geeking and stuff, and he's like, dude, it's so sick that like we're skating with Dan again. Like, dude, like Dan's the best. You know, like he'd be like, you can do like a shitty trick, but like it looks good just because he films it so well.
Dude,
you know?
I know that so well.
And I just said to Mark, I was like, dude, it's fucking like this sacred thing. Like it feels so.
I think it's because you've put restraints on yourself, because you have other work. So then you're allotted this time. So then you're valuing that time.
Yeah,
so much.
that's what it is.
So you're like boxing yourself in to see what you can do with these walls and how to get around them or how to make it work.
It's,
like
dude,
sometimes
it's
that
a
helps. Thing. Yeah, that's awesome. It makes it exciting, and you're like, you have that sense of urgency because you know you have other things, obligations.
Yeah. And
I've dealt with that a lot growing up.
you know, I go out with like no expectations. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
I like that.
Excuse me. I'm not like washed up or anything, but like, I'm just like, all right, dude. You don't have to improve, or you don't have to impress anyone.
You're a pro.
I'm not impressing anyone.
Your name's on a board, dude. You've earned it. You've earned that luxury of like being able to be like, I can go at my pace now.
Right.
When you're an AM, you have to go at someone else's pace because you're working towards something and they're going to turn you pro. But you have a board, so you can go. You can get your deal on a little bit.
I love it, dude. I love it so much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I love like, excuse me.
I should have brought some water up. It's my fault. I have some Jack Daniels. I don't know if that'll help a little bit.
I just like showing kids that like, dude, stay the course, bro. Like, I've been meeting kids that like, oh, dude, I looked up to you. I looked up to your video parts, right? They just hang out at the skate park.
Yeah.
And don't like skate.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So I love like showing them that I'm still doing this. And you can still do it.
It's so true, dude. It's like we need people to carry these things forward. You know what I mean? And not give up on this stuff.
There's like nothing more important to life than like being a school teacher or like just dude like teaching the next generation or people like younger than you know. If you don't teach people, like, we're never gonna grow.
It dies out.
You know,
there's no one to like hold you up.
So that's
you
what's
rise
so
up,
sick.
and then you need people to like want to follow that path, you know, or like carry on tradition. So like if you pass it on to the next, they're gonna like be honored, you know.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
it's the most gratifying like feeling, dude.
Yeah,
like when someone says like, "Oh, dude, you inspired me," like
it's all you. It's all you.
There's nothing better than someone saying you inspire me.
That's as pro as you can get.
You know.
Yeah. It's true, man. I teach skateboard lessons just for that because I'm not really pro if I'm not like sharing what I learned.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, I'm not really pro. I'm just some guy who's like trying to be pro. You know? Basically, you're just trying to be pro if you're always taking. But if you're giving back, then you're more pro than ever, you know? Some of the most pro dudes are the dudes that start the shops or the brands or like the dudes that like continue to share as they get older because they realize the importance of carrying on tradition and keeping it alive and carrying it as far as you can go and then giving it back to someone and inspiring them to carry it further and go further than you know. It takes all of us to do that together. And skateboarding is so trivial. It's a piece of wooden wheels and can be dismissed by the mainstream and moms and dads and get a job. It can just be dismissed as something unimportant, you know?
Yeah.
So it takes someone like you to be like, no, this helped me develop as an individual. It helped me form identity and figure out who I am. This is worth hanging on to and creating with and care. That's some pro shit.
Yeah.
It's like you found something that helped you as a muse and then you share it with others and then you spread that gospel, you know?
Some pro shit.
Yeah, that's pro. That's my idea of pro. Like, there's dudes that are just based off of talent and can do every trick in the book, and that's cool, and that you can be pro off of that, but it only carries you so far.
Right.
I think personality,
hurt yourself,
style,
and then like, whoa, what do you do now?
Yeah, it's like you're no longer winning all the contests, so what do you do now?
Yeah.
You better start expanding who you are so you can like figure out where you're going. You know, it's like you can be a prize pony all you want. You know.
I guess that's what made me be like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna turn John pro, and that's like normally what the things that are most interesting about skateboarders is like what they do off the board, right? Like,
Yeah.
and like,
To me.
yeah,
Yeah.
like straight up, like more often than not, like the skateboarders I admire the most, like after meeting them in person, are the ones that don't just fucking talk about skateboarding only. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, what else do you do, or what like I don't know, just like that. That's one thing I kind of want to stress to a lot of skateboarders, and kind of to your point where like the mom and dad saying like get a job or whatever. It's like funny to have that sort of opinion about something that's like us telling them like, whoa, why do you even fucking play golf? You know what I mean? I don't know. Why do you play tennis? Why the fuck are you doing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And calling that like a certain lifestyle that's negative or something, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's not just about skateboarding. Like, what else are you interested in, and how can you bring that into like the skateboarding sphere where like there is this opportunity for like exposure? And literally, like, you know, everyone says like you get introduced to a lot of like great music from skateboarding.
I just
I
said
certainly
that
have.
today.
Yeah.
I literally just told
Yeah.
this lady that's at the warehouse that works with the apparel side of things. I was telling her today. I'm like, what? I asked her. I was like, what music do you listen to? She's like, gotta be 70s, 80s, and she was telling me all these bands, and I'm like, listening to these, and it's all like. It's like happy music and simple happy music. I'm like, you're innocent as fuck, you know? And I'm like, I know some of these songs from like skate videos. That's what I was telling her. I was like, I know some of your genre just from listening to like skate videos, but like, because that skating does, it turns you on to that type of stuff. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, pro as fuck.
Choo. Dude, thank you guys. This was super fun.
We're rapping?
I mean, we can keep going. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Ask me a question. Let's table turn. You're the podcaster now.
What's your order at Cracker Barrel?
That might have been the best question I've ever received on the podcast. And it depends on my mood. I might go French toast. I might go pancake. Because like a lot of times when I go to Cracker Barrel, I'm like, I want heavy comfort food. You know, like so I'm like pancakes smothered in fucking syrup or like French toast. And then sometimes I'll go country fried chicken with the gravies and the biscuits and shit, mac and cheese, little mashed potatoes. My favorite holiday, Cracker Barrel makes me think of it, is that Thanksgiving, and it's coming up. It's my favorite holiday because it's based around family and food.
Right.
And you don't even have to get along with your family, but if you bring all that food in, you all shut the fuck up and you're just heavy eating.
Right.
It's like no one's fighting, but you're just all full. And that's Cracker Barrel to me. There's rocking chairs, there's fucking chest, there's a store you can walk around, there's a fireplace, there's some lady fucking taking your order. Yeah, that's an OG. And the thing about Cracker Barrel that's amazing is that it's cheap. Like I buy team meals all the time when we're on trips because we try to hit Cracker Barrel. And I'll be like, yeah, it's on me. There's no alcohol, so it's way cheaper. Dudes aren't getting a bunch of beers because I do that mistake a few times where I'm like feeling good. I'm like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, alcohol just adds up. You're like, damn, it's $300-$400.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel, it's like $69.60. You're like, what? We just had 15 meals. Like, yeah, you got a chicken wing, you got mashed potato, like fucking biscuits.
Oh, man.
I literally just went to Maine, so I loaded up fucking all my skateboard lessons. Chloe, Anders, Rory. No, Roy didn't go. Silas went. Talon went. Bunch of young kids.
I know that kid,
Talon's a G. You should know Talon. The fact that you know him, that is awesome. Yeah, that's his OG. That's his spot. Talon's the man. I filmed his first kickflip, by the way. Yeah, he lost his shit. It was sick.
Yes.
Dude, he's a G. That's why. That's sick, you know him. Yeah, I just loaded up all these, like, misfit kids that just, like, love skating, and I could tell they love it sort of like I do, or like I love it like they do. And I was like, their parents bring them to me for a skateboard lesson, and half the reason the lesson is nothing to do with skateboarding. It's just like they know I'll be able to talk to them and let them express themselves, you know, like give them a space to like develop.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty good at that. And so I just hang on to these little collections of humans that I love, and I invited them all. I'm like, let's go. There's a fundraiser and all that stuff. And I tried to take them to Cracker Barrel, but it was a fucking hour wait, and none of them had been to Cracker Barrel. I'm like, you guys are about to have your minds blown. I'm I'm about to, dude.
That'd be so crazy.
I had that podcast where I was like, "Oh, I need Cracker Barrel. Like, put me on. Let's go. Let's do this." Dude, Cracker Barrel tour. We'll do a whole tour based around locations of Cracker Barrel. Yeah, I'm fucking down. Give me hot coffee, black hot coffee.
Give me a fucking rocking chair and some candy.
Exactly. Throw the mic on the table and we'll fucking discuss this shit.
Let's go.
We'll fucking figure shit out. Solve world problems on the podcast.
Comfort food.
I love Cracker Barrel. It's the best, dude. And
Hence where that question came from, everyone.
yeah, in that store, they got the illest store in there. You just like look around. It's all the old toys and candies and shit. Takes you back to a different
Like,
spot.
seriously. I remember going in there as a kid
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck?
Yo, so I brought those kids and they went in and they were like, what? And they just like all dispersed. I'm like, fuck, I got to keep track. I got 7 of these motherfuckers. Like, they're all disappeared in the store. And then they shut us down, like, hour wait. I'm like, you motherfuckers. Like, these kids never had it. Bump that old fuck out. You know he's
for real.
had
They
this
come
shit.
here every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I went in and I brought them all in. And then we ended up at Popeyes. The kids were like, let's go to Popeyes. And I was like, I just read a news article about how there's rats on the chicken in Popeyes. Like,
Jesus.
but I'm like, all right, we're fucking going to Popeyes. It was pretty good.
Kids are getting the rat chicken.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking good. It was
Fine.
pretty good.
You get the rat
It
chicken.
was in the middle.
Release date on these new boards? I'm going to say after Thanksgiving. Yeah, we got some new graphics coming.
Oh, hell yeah.
John asked me when are the new graphics coming.
Yeah. I'm stoked.
Get those new oyster boards.
They're coming. They're coming.
Hottest stuff out of MA currently.
Do.
Hey yo!
It's sick when I like press the graphics because I'm like, it's crazy how much I can like really see. Like when you look at something once and you take it in, but then there's like layers to it. It's like sick to be pressing like Oyster graphics or World graphics, and it's like literally hours of my life, but I'm like taking it in because it's art, And I'm like,
Yeah, dude.
my lady is like,
Some kid's gonna have that.
Yeah.
Be fucking hyped on that.
Yeah. I had my sister pressing with me, and she doesn't skate or nothing. Or she was, like, polybagging the boards and stuff. Yeah. But, like, she's looking at the art, too, and just, like, she's seeing it, like, 50 of one graphic, 50 of this graphic. And she's really, like, I'm watching her, and she's, like, taking them in, trying to figure it out. Like, what does this mean? She was saying that about Oyster. Like, fuck is his name?
Oh,
She didn't get it at all. She don't skate. She
Yeah,
didn't even touch
yeah.
a board. She's like, what is Oyster? Like, I'm like, they skate. Like, these are my friends. Like, you know what I mean? She wasn't like hating, but she was kind of like,
what kind of name is Oyster?
she's super defensive of like all I need.
Oh, hey.
She's saying all I need. Like, I'm like,
this ain't no all I need.
I'm like, there's other people out there that do different shit. Like, this is their thing. Like, but she's like looking at it, like trying to like analyze it. It was cool watching her like process the art because she's looking at it over and over and over again. I really like that aspect of like pressing the decks and seeing the art and like interpreting it a lot of different ways,
Yeah,
It's
for
cool,
sure.
man.
Yeah, especially that much repetition for what you're doing. Like, you're just like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
But I need that because like I am I can pay attention at times, but at times you're just in the inertia of life and you're just like not paying attention. But if it's
Right.
in front of you a lot, you start to be like, oh, I gotta really pay attention to this,
Right.
So you're like, oh yeah, this makes sense. What is that? Oh, that thing, little nooks and crannies of stuff.
Hell yeah.
I love that shit about it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Well, hell yeah, dude. Thanks for having us, for real.
Yeah, dude. This is super fun, dude.
Yeah.
The other topic that my brain keeps going to is the Olympics.
Oh,
Did you guys watch skateboarding in the Olympics?
A little, but
No.
not really. I just remember.
The furthest thing from
I just remember just hearing a bunch of negative stuff from people, and they were like, "Oh, do you believe it?" And I'm like, "I didn't watch it, so."
yeah.
Like I saw some of it, but like.
Ask you a question?
Into the mic.
How do you feel about Caliuma? Is
Oh,
Cariuma?
the shoe brand.
Yeah.
Heavy question, John. Heavy question, my friend.
It's a heavy question, right? I'm gonna let you know my answer right now.
Okay,
Hate it.
please. Okay.
Hate them, dude.
Okay.
I feel like it's just like some weird industry, like, dude, I don't even know, bro. Like,
Marketing's crazy.
marketing is crazy, bro.
This is kind of along the lines of what I was gonna say.
Like, so this is just like what my brain told me to say. From your Olympics in skateboarding and this shoe brand is like the same thing to me.
Yeah, hit at the same time, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Cookie cutter.
Quaint. No, fuck, dude. I suck at this.
I don't know, dude. Like,
Well, so the first,
Timely. It's timely.
it's so sick that skating's in the Olympics. Like, who would have thought, right?
it's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, snowboarding's been in like the Winter Olympics forever. Same type of caliber or whatever.
It's crazy to think that mainstream is like latched onto it.
But like,
But I get it. It's so cool.
I'm
Skateboarding's
actually
the best.
friends. I'm friend. I know. I shot a little bit, and
Nice.
like
He's the man, dude.
he wasn't in the Olympics, right?
He should
No,
have been.
he was supposed to be. He was telling me about it one time. We were having a conversation, and then like
Don't sigh.
I'm from the old school, man, dude. Like I can't like I don't watch the Barracks, but I watched the Barracks the other night, and it was Battle of the Barracks with Jagger Eaton
Yep.
and
Third place in the Olympics.
someone else, but like I can't stand that kid, dude. Like
His style sucks, though. Like, let's be real. Like,
all right, no,
I haven't watched enough.
Another question. So, another question.
Wait, let me
I'll
answer.
keep it interesting.
Hang on to your question, but let me answer the first one. I can't get into Carium or Carium, whatever the brand is, because it was so marketed towards like skateboarding. Like it was on the Barracks, and it was just like it came in. It wasn't like I learned it through their riders. I just learned it through like a marketing ploy.
Right.
And that's nothing against them or anyone else.
And it kind of looks like Vox.
Yeah, a little bit. But like to me, when I
that's crazy. I can't name one rider, except
No,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure that dude Jagger Eaton was wearing them, but I can't name another rider.
remember your question, John. But yeah, I agree. The first time I turned on to him was that it was through the marketing of the brand. It wasn't through the riders. Like most fucking footwear brands, it's like you knew the riders, knew the video, and all that stuff. This was the opposite. It was like they just paid for advertising on the Barracks, and then they were in the Olympics because the riders were riding them. But I don't really pay attention to Olympic riders either. So, all right, what's the question?
Okay. How do I phrase this?
Phrase it exactly how it needs to be phrased,
All right, so
truthfully or
with like
bitterly.
those that grouping, right? Like Barracks skating, like Olympic skating.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I fucking love Nigel Houston.
Do you?
I do, dude.
Have you listened to this podcast at all?
No,
All I
not
do is
much. I
talk
watched
shit on
I watched the Justin
Oh my
Strogler
God.
interview.
Oh, sick.
Um,
What do you like about Nigel? That's a real question. Just curious.
all right, so like aesthetically can't stand him. It's like he's the equivalent to like
A Dallas
throw up
cowboy?
in your mouth.
Yeah.
But like the balls and audacity he has to hit some of the shit that he hits is
Oh, yeah.
fucking insane.
I'll never take that away from him. He's
And
very talented and he is gnarly.
The Nyjah SB
Oh, shit.
is an amazing skate shoe.
Does it just not fall apart or something?
It's great, dude.
Yeah, it's Nike. It's
Fire.
Yeah.
So
Good
all
for
right,
him.
back in the day,
I would hope so.
back in the
He had
day,
a whole
right?
team designing the fucking shoe. Good for him.
Like, where did it go? Like, back in the day, right? Well, so nowadays it's like, oh yeah, he's just a skate park skater, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like, all right, Arto Sari, Tom Penny, Donnie Barley,
Choo, choo.
you know, dudes we looked up to, fucking shredded contests, right? But also created fire video parts that inspired a lot of fucking people.
Oh, amen,
right?
Amen.
Where did that happen? Where it's just like, it's almost just like you're a street skater or you're like a fucking skate park skater. You know what I mean? Like if like some dude that rips in the streets like some dude who rips a skate park like a Jagger Eaton, right?
Yes.
Dude, I'm bored as fuck watching him try and like film a street part.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't even know if I have a question. Like, or what's your stance on that? Like, where do you feel like
It's a fine line.
that switch?
It's a fine line.
It's a very
It's a fine line
angel
between
hair pasta fine line.
Yeah, it's a fine line between like being an artist and being an athlete and being like there's like
Yeah.
so the problem for me with competition skaters and people that and I said this to Lutzka when he came on the podcast. No, you're nailing it.
Good questions.
Pro as fuck.
Good questions. Pro questions.
So I said this to Lutska, and he kind of gave me like a side-eye look.
Was he wearing a fedora at the time?
I fucking don't think so, but I wish. That would have been amazing. So I said this to him, and I didn't mean it. I don't mean it as an insult, but I just mean it from where I'm coming from. This is a genuine question. It's like when you enter so many contests or so many like corny like segments where it's like a corporate mainstream sponsor and they're producing your career, basically, like if you ride for a Nike or a Monster, and they're just like all those outlets are putting you into their paradigm. You're like they're like all those contests. You're marketing your skating. Like Lutska did so many 270s to nose blunts because he wanted to get those points to win those contests. So like he made the decision, but he was put in a game by a corporate sponsor that said this is what's going to get you the gold. You know, and that waters down your skating.
For sure.
Because you're practicing the same fucking trick because you want to get that points for that trick.
And then you're not seeing anything new.
It's not like watching John push down the street, not thinking about whether he's winning or losing, just fucking skating.
He goes,
But do you know what I'm saying, John? It's
180.
like that's the difference is there's some people that want that golden egg. They want that golden egg so much that they'll conform their skating to a certain way to please their corporate masters or whatever, which is fine. Like if you're good at juggling,
It's like a money-hungry greed thing?
throw that in there.
Is it a money honey?
Say it again, John.
Do you think it's a money-driven like greed?
I
kinda
don't, and it's
thing,
not
or-
necessarily a moral thing like greedy or whatever, but I think it's just that it shows their intention. Like Nigel will be the
Right.
first to admit that he like wants to win and beat everyone,
Yeah.
and he did when he lost the Olympics. He's like, I have a problem.
He didn't even place, huh?
Nah. And it sucks because I was rooting for him. I talked the most shit on him, but deep down, I'm a huge Nigel fan, so I'm like, I know his whole story, you know, like his whole life story, and I'm like, I want this dude to win, and then he let us down, and it was like, I kind of saw that coming.
Who
'cause
won?
It was Yuto in
Oh,
first.
naturally.
Yeah, and then I know Jagger.
That's the only skate park skater that dude, he's sick, dude.
So you just gotta say it. You gotta say it a little different. He's not. They're not skate park skaters per se, but they're like corporate skaters because they're willing to like. They play that side of the game and they're good at
Right.
it. It's like being an athlete and a sports star, kind of. It's like you're gonna make millions, but then you're gonna have to play the rules of the masters. They're gonna decide how you skate and how many times people see that trick. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's like you let someone else. Whereas like someone like you or someone like me, it's like I like not being boxed in. I learned skating so I could be free, so I could escape the traps of life. That was the thing, like growing up, I was like, anytime someone boxed me in, skating taught me to find that little silver lining and slip through there real quick. You know what I mean? Whereas other people, it's like they like want to play the game so they can get all these things, and it's like it's just like to me that's hollow and empty. But like if you're good at it, I was never good at it. Like I wasn't good at competition because the thing I was trying to get out of skating was like it was like I needed something to work on by myself that would help me like figure
less
out my
pressure,
issues.
like, there was no pressure. When
like
you were
I
doing
needed to go out there and like cry and throw my board, and like sometimes I couldn't be good on my board because I had family issues or like mental issues, and I needed skating to like get me out there in the streets with some people so I could like figure out how to work through my shit. I wasn't like from a good family who's like, yeah, you're gonna be a fucking champion, here's a trophy, like you're good at juggling. Like even in school is the same thing. It was like I could have done good at school if I had like a safe environment at home and nurturing and like figured things out, but that wasn't the case. So to me, I would go in there with a bunch of emotional issues and get into a fight or like not be able to pay attention because I'm like got fucking my mom's missing, and I'm like, this is too heavy, I just want to sleep through the day. So it's like for me, I needed things for different reasons, you know, and some people need, and that's fine. Skating's for everyone. I'm a big proponent of that. Skating's for everyone. Like, I don't mind if jocks want to be in it, trans people, black people, white people, purple people, aliens, Lil Wayne, whoever the fuck wants to be in skating. It's like, I don't own skating. No one does. It's a piece of wooden wheels, and it's like, it's what you put into it that makes it valuable. So, like, anyone from any walks of life can put their energy and life force and create something with it. Even if it's like a jock, you know? Like, who the fuck am I to say you're doing it wrong? Can't say that. Like, it's skateboarding helped me so much that I can't can't judge anyone for seeing value in it, even if it's not for the same reasons that I do. But I get why people do that, because it's like you're very protective of the thing you love, and it's your own creation. And it's like you want to think that, you know, you do it for the right reasons, and no one else does, you know. But it's not true. But I just talk shit on some of those dudes that are really big like that, because I'm like, nobody is above skateboarding. Nobody. Yeah. And Nyjah, like, if I'm going to let Nyjah have a corporate Nike sponsor, and there's nothing against that. If Nike hit me up tomorrow and was like, look, Shetler, we want to support you and your vision and all that stuff, I'd be like, let's go, you know? Yeah. Like, let's do some cool shit together. But you got to support me.
Yeah, give me some money, too.
Yeah, like, if they want to help me out and push the do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
that would be the rarest. So rare.
But
yeah, well, they're going to be holographic.
Sick. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, it's just like you gotta skate for the reasons that you got into skating and follow that thread and see where it goes, you know, and focus on that, and then you won't even care about anyone else. But I talk shit on those dudes just because sometimes the ego gets bigger than, like, I talk shit on Mike V. And I like Mike V, and I admire a lot of things he did. He has multiple brands. He did that video Driven. But, like, at some point, it's like he was drinking from his own Kool-Aid. You know, it was like Mike V is Mike V. And it was like,
yeah,
and I'm like, sure. You're not bigger than skating. Nyjah's not bigger than skating. If I'm going to let Nike and Nyjah dictate what's cool to all these people, and everyone's going to pretend like this is the only wave or this is the whole industry, because like a lot of corporate sponsors come into skating and they think they can just buy the wave and buy the generation. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, because like no one's bigger than skating, and who the fuck are you just because you have money to say that that this is what's
and
what,
it is,
you know?
like, nice that there's those opportunities for people to like get those like corporate sponsors and like make a living. Yeah,
make some
for
money.
sure.
I did that. I rode for York. It was like in Macy's, all the clothes, the whole money was from selling clothes to Macy's, and I gotta like live the dream and travel the world for like 2 years all over, China twice, Australia, all fucking over, and that was from like a corporate thing, you know?
Right. Like, I mean, if, like, Red Bull reached out to you, John, right now and said, ride for us, like, what would you say?
That's a Red Bull opening. He's like, as long as I can draw a dick on the can.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but you remember Brandon back in the day, Skater's Edge?
He got fired from Red Bull. Westgate?
For that reason?
He, in an interview.
He used to sell them to Skater's Edge.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, yeah.
He used to sell his cases to him.
Yeah. I know.
The answer.
You can say that.
The answer to your question, Curtis, was if the check was big enough, yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I would hope anyone else would say yes.
So the problem would be if you said yes and all they wanted was John to enter a bunch of contests that he didn't enjoy. Then you'd be compromising yourself.
That's true.
But if they were like, John, we love you as an artist.
Yeah, just do what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what my point is. It's like, I'm down to work with a corporation or like a brand that believes in me. But if you're going to try to fit me into something that I don't fit into, then I'm just compromising myself. And it's like a waste of my time, you know? Like,
I'm not going to lie. Like, there was a period of time where I was like, you see the Red Bull hat, you're like, oh, fuck. Ugh. But like,
I still see that.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. It's not like the greatest, like,
but I'm not mad at the skater. I'm not mad at the skater. There's like a lot of skaters.
That's what I said, like Jamie Foy or whatever. Like, there was a period of time where I was like, why is he wearing the hat, though? I was like, oh, because he's getting paid.
Because he's going to...
Every clip, though?
He's gonna.
I know. Why does he have to wear it every clip? Because he gets paid by clip, right?
The royalty check, and he gets to keep that fat layer.
Yeah.
Like, for real. He gets to keep that little... the steaks keep him thick. Those front crooks are looking nice.
Every clip you had a hat on, you would get a check.
No, but they're going to go...
But along those lines.
So, it's not like back in the day when I rode for Lakai, Kelly Burr was the TM, and they would, for every photo that showed the flare, they would pay me. So I had a photo in Thrasher, 2-page. Yeah, I had 2-page, and I was doing like a frontside flip, and you could see the bottom of my feet, and they both had the flares. So they'd pay me like, I don't know, it was like $400 or $500 because there's 2 flares, and they would write it in there. But I don't think they do that per video. I think just like they're smart. They're like, oh, Red Bull's paying me fucking say whatever, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a year, 100 grand a year. Like, I'm going to make sure I wear this all the time. Keep this gravy train coming, you know? Yeah. There's a lot of that going on, you know? it's hard to get those sponsors too. Like, it's not easy to get like a corporate sponsor like that and then keep it going. Like, it's not no joke, you know.
Wow.
I used to get shit from Gatorade back in the day when I rode for Zoo York too, and they sent me to some like Celtics games, front row court and shit, and they sent me all this limited edition shit. Like,
Wow.
I was just taking it all because I'm like, dude, I'm fucking hungry. Like,
Yeah.
I was in the projects before I was sponsored. Like, I'm fucking gonna take whatever opportunities come my way, and if people want to hate, hate. I don't care, you know.
Yeah.
There's that level to it too, you know. Also,
Gatorade's got electrolytes, you know. It's good for you.
Facts.
It's good for you.
Facts. Yeah. Did we cover it all? Is there anything else?
Got it.
I feel like we're gonna have to do round 2 though, because this was
I'm
super
down.
fun. Yeah.
I'm down. Just let me know.
All right, boys.
Till next time.
Yeah. Before we go, maybe just shout out like the website, the Instagram, anywhere you'd want people to check out Oyster stuff. And John, if you have anything you want to share or plug, just so it's here in the podcast.
All right. Instagram is Oyster Skateboards. Website is www.skateoysterbrand.com. Follow at jml.wave.
JML.
.wave.
Wave.
At Jimmy Kafka. JYMMYKAFKA.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's it. Oh, and also East Coast Kickflip is a frontside shove it.
Yeah,
I just want everyone to know that.
I saw that today.
Just want everyone to know that.
I was looking at something today. Was it on your Insta, maybe? I saw that.
It's my handle.
Oh, okay. It's true, though. I thought about it for a while. I was like, it kind of is. The front shove is the East Coast kickflip.
R.I.P. Swisher Pete Chav.
Yeah, man.
I love you. I miss you. I do it for you.
Yeah, man.
Fucker.
I saw all that go down on social media, and I didn't comment at all because, like, I never really knew Pete like you guys did, but I, like, met Pete a bunch.
Yeah.
And, like, I saw you guys, and you guys were, like, all super friends and, like, just vibing together. And, like, so I didn't really comment because I was, like, not my place. But, like, yeah, man.
Legend.
Yeah, dude. That's heavy situation.
For real.
There's some stuff in the work.
One of
though,
a
to help him
kind.
out, right? Some family stuff, and, like, you guys got stuff in the work.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure. And also, like, I just want to say, like, straight up, talk to your friends about anything and everything that you're dealing with. Like, don't ever, ever, ever feel like you can't. All right. I know for a fact, like, I would hope that John would, like, tell me that something's going wrong in his life. Like, nothing's like, yeah, man, I'm great. You don't always have to say that. Especially for, you know, young men out there. You don't have to, like, always pretend everything's okay. And tell your friends. You'd be surprised, like, how they're going to respond. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And sometimes it just feels super heavy because you feel like you're alone. But if you share it with someone, it lightens the load a little bit. So it's worth the shot. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, for real. Not to end this podcast on, like, a heavy note, but more of, like, a positive note.
Yeah.
Just to, like, even the things that Pete did say to me, yeah, I'm really glad I learned those things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, tell your friends anything and everything. Like, not everything, but, like, just what you're going through. If you are feeling like you're up for it, it might go a long way, you know?
Yeah. We need a lot of that in this world. People go through a lot of heavy stuff. So, amen, brothers.
Amen to empty last sips.
That's
Last
right.
sips.
The bitter ends. Thank you, guys.
To the bitter end. Till the wheels fall off.
That's how you podcast, people. Emma interrupted. I went pee.
Me too. The Vice.
Choo, 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 choo.
Yeah.